do, and today in Dallas, college football returns as the ACC meets the WAC. It's NC State and SMU. Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Eschenfelder alongside Gary Reasons. And, Gary, these two coaches, I tell you, this week has been a tough one for them. They've had to wear a lot of different hats.
They have. They want to get back to a sense of normalcy, Kevin, and that's just the most important thing for them right now. Luckily, both teams were not negatively impacted by the tragedy in our country, and that was the most important thing to them right now.
You know about playing a game with a lot of national distractions or worldwide distractions. Of course, Super Bowl 25 in 1991. And, you know, how do you stay focused on this?
Well, you stay focused. You try to what you do on the field is play football, but the things around you, I tell you, they take precedence over that. But when you get on the field, you just try to do your best.
All right, let's go down onto the field for the playing of God Bless America.
And now, to honor America, we invite you to stand and join in singing as the Mustang Band, directed by Dave Keeler, plays our national anthem. Warm fall afternoon in Dallas, Texas, where college football makes its return. NC State hasn't played in 16 days, while SMU returning to the gridiron for the first time in about 2 weeks. And well, the colors obviously well represented as they have in venues all over the country over the last 2 weeks. And here too, the SMU and North Carolina State faithful wearing the red, white, and blue. Kevin Eschenfelder and Gary Reasons welcome you back to Gerald J. Ford Stadium, and we talked about these coaches, and you know, a coach is always more than just a coach. They become a friend, they become a mentor, almost a father figure, and it's times like these when you can throw the football out the window and you really see the relationship between these two, whether it be coaches and players or trainers or a lot of other different things.
Well, it's very appropriate here at SMU today that it is Parents' Day and Family Day to come, and you see the families that are out there on the football field, the big SMU group as they come on the field, and Mike Cavan has really had to deal with these young men in a different context than you'd ever would imagine as a coach. You know, you're representing this university, and you have to get in front of those players and give them some perspective, some guidance of how to assimilate everything that's gone on over the last couple of weeks. It's been a difficult task.
It affects everyone in different ways, but no one has been directly, as far as family members or anything like that. We've talked to both sides of it. No one directly related to anyone that was caught up in this tragedy, but still has to be on the minds, particularly young men this age. And right now, though, it's just a matter of, I guess, putting those things behind them, realizing that they have a task to perform, and going out and playing football tonight.
Now, remember, these are all still young men.
Right.
They're 18, 19, 20-year-old young individuals, and they have to just deal with things as they can. And they need guidance. They need support. Their coaches are there for for them. The coaches have to take a different perspective on things, and I think they've both done a pretty good job. Should be a good contest tonight, Kevin.
All right, let's join the third member of our broadcast team. Randy McElvoy is down on the sidelines, standing by with SMU head coach Mike Cavin.
Some type of routine. You know, it's not back to normal, but it's we've worked hard. The kids have worked hard. Hopefully they'll have their mind on what they're doing today.
A little bit about North Carolina State, a team that loves to jump out on people. They did that against Indiana. Is that a key to contain them early here?
You know, that's been our downfall the first two ball games. We're just giving away too much, and hopefully if we can just not beat ourselves. I mean, that's what we got to start doing there. If we can do that, we may have a chance. I don't know. North Carolina State's a good football team. They're real good on offense and defense too, so it'll be a big challenge for us.
Thoughts on Phillip Rivers? You guys have seen him already. You know what he could do out there.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. He really is. He's he really knows their offense and really does the right thing.
How about getting the rushing game going for you guys? Is that important?
Well, yeah, I think you got to run and throw. I want to be balanced. If we're balanced, we got a chance.
Coach, good luck to you.
Thanks.
Mike Cavin, SMU head coach. Kevin, Gary, back up to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Randy Mack and Mike Cavin. He's got some work to do tonight because I tell you, this is a tough NC State team. To remind you a little bit of Florida State, who, by the way, lost earlier this afternoon. They got a lot of speed, particularly on the defensive side of the football. So as you see, NC State wins the toss. They have deferred, so SMU will take the football to get things started. Let's take a look at some of the keys to the game.
Well, obviously the quarterback with Phillip Rivers at quarterback. Let the Rivers flow. Let him throw the football. Do what he does best. He's a good decision maker. Kevin, one of the best things about North Carolina State and Chuck Amato's team is they do a great job in the kicking game. Blocked 4 kicks already this year. And then I think on defense, they need to break the Mustangs' rhythm offensively. Don't let them get into that pattern or that consistency that Mike Cavin talked about coming on with Randy McElvoy.
Chuck Amato, a graduate of North Carolina State, where he played from 1965 to 67. He spent 18 years on Bobby Bowden's staff, the last 14 as the assistant head coach to Bobby Bowden, and he wants to get his program, obviously, to where it was in Tallahassee. As far as SMU is concerned,
well, obviously they can't self-destruct. They've had so many turnovers from the defensive side of the ball that turned into points. They had 4 touchdowns from the defense against them. They can't do that. They can't turn over the football. They have to have balanced production, running the ball and throwing it as well. And defensively, they just can't get hurt by the big play. They've got a good enough defense to make a team go the long field, and chances are they'll have a chance to stop it.
Well, Mike Cavin in his 5th season, 14 and 23 in those 5 seasons. They haven't played since losing to TCU. SMU with losses to Louisiana Tech and TCU, and we are underway. Second meeting in the last 2 years between these two teams as Jonas Rutledge has it at the 15 to the 20 and up to the 25-yard line, and with a decent field position for SMU's first offensive possession, a 21-yard return, and the offensive side of the football has been a place where SMU has struggled in their first 2, particularly talk about the mistakes, putting the football on the field or on the ground and throwing it to the wrong team. Kellen Luker, 6'1", he's just a sophomore, gets the start at quarterback. He's from Stephenville, Texas. You're watching us from around the country. Stephenville, a bit of a high school dynasty in the state of Texas. And they really like to throw the football all over the place, and Kellen Luker was a big part of that in high school. But now he's playing with the big boys, and on first down they hand it off to Chris Briggs right up the middle. Boy, there wasn't a whole lot there for Briggs. First man to get to him, D'Antonio Burnett, as he made the stop. Let's take a look at the lineups. First offensively, Kellen Luker completing 44% of his passes. He's thrown it to the wrong side twice and has yet to throw a touchdown pass. See the big guys up front. They need to get bigger. Davis on that right side there. Stud, Briggs, Hampton, Cunningham. Ford and Freeman will be out there catching balls along with Cunningham. Now on second down and 6 after the gain of 4 by Chris Briggs. SMU opening possession and whistles.
Prior to the snap, full start, offense, 5 yards, and it's still second down.
Well, he talked about the mistakes, and there's one right there, going from second down and 6 after the 4-yard gain on first down, and they'll back it up and looking at a second down and 11. Minute deep here in Dallas. Take a look at North Carolina State. Backers
strength of that defense. The guys up front, though, have gotten much better. There you see the DBs. Here's Chris Briggs. He's got speed, tries to get outside, picks up a gain of 8 yards on 2nd down and 11. And so a 3rd down and short is coming up.
Well, Kevin, if you want to play well and run the football well, you want to win the corner. And that's what SMU did on the North Carolina State defense that time. Chris Briggs had some good blocking. They won the corner. They got to the outside and took a pretty good game.
North Carolina State trying to become more like Florida State, and why not? And a lot of that has to do with getting a lot more speed up front. 3rd down and 3 from the 32. Opening possession for SMU. Kellen Luker straight drop to throw, and it's off the fingertips of Kalon Kincaid, who couldn't hold on. Probably would have had enough for a 1st down if he would have been able to turn it up, but couldn't hold on, and it's punt time for the Ponies.
Well, that's one of the things the quarterback has to do in this offense. They have to produce the ball a little bit out in front of Kincaid. Would have been a good catch if he'd have gotten it, but the ball was led a little bit, and he has to get into a rhythm. Mike Cavin said, hey, if my quarterback is not producing, we're not going to win football games.
Well, Adam Walterscheid comes in to punt it away. 38.5 yards his average in his first 2 games, and back deep, the wide receiver. Instead of the single safety is Brian Peterson. Comes the rush. Flags are down. Low liner. Peterson should have a chance to return this one and does. Good pursuit and good coverage by SMU, but let's check the marker.
Yeah, I think we're going to have an offensive formation penalty here against the offense on the punt team.
Well, you got it. It's procedure. Jack Childress, our referee. The umpires Mike Webster, Rick Page, Darrell Harrison, and Virgil Valdez.
Illegal formation by the kicking team. 6 men on the line. That penalty is refused. 1st down.
Well, they'll just take the football. Well, let's take a look at the South Carolina offense. Big man up front, Phillip Rivers, 6'5" sophomore, probably the best freshman quarterback in the country last year. See the guys up front, they've had a lot of injuries, and this is a worry of this ball club. Guys in the back, Cotchery, Peterson, Robinson, the running back, Cotchery Jackson is the fullback, and Willie Wright, a converted wide receiver. He plays tight end. He will catch a lot of balls. Robinson, the single setback. Rivers straight drop to throw, does it. Incomplete, threw it behind Jericho Cotchery, the intended receiver. Defensively for SMU, Williams, Post, Birdwell, and Aldridge, the 4 men up front. Keep an eye on the middle linebacker, Vic Valoria. He is outstanding. Rutledge and Kevin Garrett, they will be on the corners. O'Neal and Moodley are your safeties. 2nd down and 10. Again, Ray Robinson, the single setback, play action. Rivers wants to throw, does, complete. Willie Wright has it at the 39-yard line. Going to be short of a 1st down, 3rd down coming. He was knocked down immediately. Good coverage by SMU. Looks like they're going to let him throw it underneath right now.
Well, that's the thing that North Carolina State likes to do, Kevin. It's a controlled passing game offense. And when you've got a tight end who's 6'5" and 245 pounds, who can run like this young man, Wright's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way. He complements a quarterback in this style of offense. Watch him throwing the swing passes, the controlled passes along the perimeter, and Rivers is going to take what the defense is going to give him.
3rd down and 2. Flags down. They're trying to set up that hitch screen for Brian Peterson.
Prior to the snap, false start by the offense. 5 yards, and it's still 3rd down.
They go from 3rd and 2 to 3rd down and 7.
Well, that's good news for the Mustangs because North Carolina State looks like they want to come out. They want to get things going quickly, come up to the ball, quick snap, throw the ball out there on timing, hit a quick screen, and get moving down the field. But it brings up now a 3rd and long.
Again, Ray Robinson will be the single setback as 3 wide receivers. Willie Wright stays in at the tight end. Again, the quick toss, and it's a little high and outside for Brian Peterson. Just trying to let the speedster get out there and create, but the ball off the mark, and SMU will hold.
We've got to get a little pressure in front of Rivers, and they did. The Mustangs did a good job that time. Rivers has a unique throwing motion. The coaches don't try to change what he does. He does deliver the ball pretty well, but he hasn't found his stride here yet today, Kevin.
Chris Cunningham back deep to receive the punt. Low line drive spiral. Cunningham at 25 and no more. Good coverage down for NC State. They are very good on the special teams, and it was Jericho Kochery, the wide receiver, who's an outstanding special teams player. So 11:52 to go, first quarter in Dallas, and we're scoreless. The colors out in force on the campus of Southern Methodist University in Dallas. Gerald J. Ford Stadium, to be a little more exact. 11:52 to go. Both teams have had the football once, and neither team able to do much with it. SMU will get it back here. Here's Keelan Kincaid coming to the near. Nice spin move out near the 35-yard line. Well, good backs make defenders miss.
They definitely do, and Kincaid did a great job that time on the spin move.
Roger Pollard was there to finally make the stop, but a gain of 8 yards. You do a lot of things, Gary, on a 2nd down and 2.
Well, I tell you can. When you get counterplay and the backs block, the lineman blocking like that, and Kincaid just makes one guy miss completely in the hole. It's a real nice job of running. He's the more shifty of the two between him and Briggs in the backfield, and Kincaid's doing a pretty good job for him. He's leading rusher this year so far.
Stays in the game on the 2nd down and 2. Look for the reverse here. Instead, they'll hand it right up the middle. LaVon Fisher, though, was standing right in the hole. And LeVar Fisher is a stud, an All-American candidate. Led the nation in tackles a season ago, and boy, ACC Defensive Player of the Year. And that is well, that's the high rent district when you're in the ACC Player of the Year on the defensive side, because you got a lot of good football players.
Well, he led the nation last year in tackles. I tell you, that's something that's amazing for a linebacker to do, and for him to do that in that conference and play the way he has, he just really leads that defense, and they really respond to how well he plays.
Got one. Luker didn't get the first down. If anything, he may have lost a yard. It was George Anderson, defensive end, who came through and hit him first. Did they give him enough? They did. Well, that was a generous spot. Look at that. He got nailed, and it first man to get to him was D'Antonio Burnett, the middle linebacker, the junior out of Warner Robins, Georgia. But not before the forward progress was enough for a first down. SMU moves the sticks with the ball at the 36-yard line.
Well, they call him Thunder Dan, D'Antonio Burnett coming through there, and that's exactly why. He'll come up and pop you.
And they talk about also, he doesn't get a whole lot of the attention. A lot of that goes to LeVar Fisher, but he's an outstanding linebacker. Luker wants to throw for the first time today, and no one close. May have been a pretty good idea. Chris Cunningham was very, very well covered, and he threw it high and away, and may have just thrown that one away.
Well, what Luker has to do, he has to execute. He has to be in control. Let's take a look at him here, head to toe, and see while he puts his play fake in there, watch him get set up and deliver the football. Good job there delivering. I think the receiver broke off the route. A little miscommunication there. But Luker, he needs to settle down and get some rhythm going, and that way he'll be successful.
Brian Williams had outstanding coverage as well. So 2nd down and 10 from the 32-yard line, and they'll make it the 37-yard line, and timeout SMU. So 10-11 to play, first quarter. SMU and NC State scoreless. Liking what they're seeing so far. I think they're just be glad to get back to college football. 10-11 to play, scoreless. SMU with the football at the 36-yard line. Kincaid, the single setback. Now they do run. The reverse. Johnny Freeman trying to get outside. Nothing doing. Boy, nice job defensively. Was it Julius Patterson coming up from the safety spot to make the stop? They're quick, and they can get wide in a hurry, can NC State, and they did right there.
Doing a good job of staying at home. That's Pollard, the outside linebacker, Roger Pollard, just a sophomore, but doing a good job coming up on the reverse play. The ball's going to come across here, but on the left side of your screen, you're going to see the linebacker just staying at home, doing his rules, and coming off the block and making a play in the open field. Good job on the defense.
Sophomore out of Coral Gables, Florida. 6 foot 212. A 3rd down 11 for the Ponies from the 35 after the loss of 1. Throw this one complete, but not nearly enough as John Hampton makes his first catch of the game, and LeVar Fisher right there to wrap him up, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. But a penalty marker is down, and this may be roughing the passer.
We're taking a look at LeVar Fisher here, the linebacker. the All-American, the young man who was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Take a look at Luker. He's going to take a little hit after the ball is delivered here. I think they're going to call a hitting the quarterback late on the play. Or no, it's going to go against, yeah, it's going against North Carolina State.
So 15-yard penalty will continue the drive.
Personal foul, roughing the passer by the defense, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Kevin, this is a real big confidence boost to SMU, coming out here and executing and getting a couple of first downs. Hey, your quarterback hasn't really completed the pass he did there on that play, but they need to get out and get a little consistency, get some rhythm. A couple of first downs here on their second possession. Nice job of execution.
Been the biggest offensive play in the first 6 minutes of this ball game. 15-yard penalty on NC State. SMU crossing the 50 for the first time today. This one is complete. Johnny Freeman, and Freeman not a whole lot there as he was wrapped up quickly by Marcus Hudson. Hudson, the backup corner, a freshman from Miami, as he was there to make the stop, and 2nd down and 7 coming.
Well, I like the play. It's a good job of stretching the defense out, throw it out to the perimeter. You got a one-on-one situation. If Freeman can break the tackle, could go for a pretty good game, but Hudson comes up and stops him nicely.
A gain of 2, call it the 41-yard line. Kincaid, a little misdirection. Needs a block, got one. 35 down to the 31-yard line.
Well, the counter tray play again from the backside, and you got your left tackle, Judson Davis, going to lead Kincaid. And the good thing about Kincaid is he set his blockers up well, Kevin. He could have taken it to the outside, but chose to come back inside and wait for the blocks to develop. Good poise. I tell you, he's shown me a lot of little something here as a running back, and didn't start the football game, but he's come in here and done nicely.
1st down and 10 from the 31. Kincaid again. Straight dive play, lost the football. I believe NC State has it. They do. Terrence Holt comes up with the ball, and the first turnover of the ball game. Well, mistakes have been just an absolute killer for SMU, and they snuff out a drive here with just a little under 8 minutes left in the first quarter.
Well, Kincaid's trying to get extra yards, but I tell you, North Carolina State puts their hat on the football, and when you spin, they come from the backside. You can't see that defender coming, and good job of pulling the ball out. The defense got it. Big Dan hit him again. D'Antonio Burnett did a nice job of pulling the ball out and stripping it. North Carolina State comes up with a big turnover.
They get the football back. There you see what has happened with SMU. And you look at this, it's led to 30 points for Louisiana Tech, 36 points, as the turnovers have just been an absolute killer. And there's Ray Robinson with his first carry of the game as he runs into the secondary. You know, taking it a step further with those 3 fumbles have been returned for touchdowns by the opponent. 1 interception was returned for a touchdown, and 1 interception was returned to the 1-yard line.
Well, that's self-destruct mode, and you can't have that happen. Luckily here, SMU had gotten into the plus territory, so it's still the long field, and the defense has a chance to respond.
The Rivers on a 2nd down and 4, hitch screen, complete Peterson, and Peterson knocked down immediately by Jonas Rutledge. Great play by him. And Randy McElvoy, what do you have?
Yeah, Kevin, this has got to be frustrating for this SMU defense. They've actually done their job in the first 2 games this year, but the offense, and you guys talked about it, a lot of turnovers, 3 in their first 2 games. Not a good start right here as they cough another one up.
That's misleading. They're in the actual top 25 in the nation as far as number of yards given up. It's the points that have been the killer because everyone's had such a short field to deal with. They've given up 36 and 38 points in the first 2 games. 3rd down and 5. Rivers wants to throw, does to Robinson. He's got a whole lot of company, and they're all wearing blue jerseys. Ruben Moodley, the first man to get to him, the sophomore from Garland, Texas, knocks him down, and it is punt time for the Wolfpack.
Well, they're going to key on Robinson. He was the 2nd leading receiver a year ago for North Carolina State. Good job of closing on the football. The defense is swarming now for the Mustangs.
So Austin Herbert will come in to punt it away, and he will do so to Chris Cunningham. Stands back at the 25-yard line. This is a great punt. Takes Cunningham back all the way inside his 15-yard line, but a lot of room to run. He does out near the 30, calling down at the 28-yard line, where SMU will take the football after a punt of 55 yards. Well, it's been a struggle so far for Phillip Rivers and company. We'll talk it over with the coaches upstairs because they've gone 3 in punts a couple of times.
And they probably came in here expecting to execute a little bit better. Hey, they've had a little rust, haven't played in 16 days. Mike Cavan's got his bunch playing pretty well on defense, though.
Handed off, first man through, out near the 30-yard line for SMU. That's Wesley Medlock who has come in. Terrence Chapman knocked him down.
Well, it's the trap play. You see the trap coming from the outside. The line, the fullback is blocking across and bringing it right up inside. The big red shirts there coming in there to make a nice play.
Rivers still talking it over. Well, Chris Briggs back in at the running back spot. 24, not 34. Forward in motion. Luker straight drop again, throws it complete to Cunningham. Cunningham out near a first down, but a third down is coming. He's going to be a couple of yards short as LeVar Fisher made the tackle.
Nice job here of Luker, the quarterback, reading his keys. He's got 1, 2, 3 to his left side. He waits for the receiver to come open between the linebackers, delivers the ball down and low, and good grab, good execution. He's just coming off of his reads, Kevin, doing a good job of delivering the football.
But defensively for NC State, at 44 doesn't get you, 45 does, and that time 44 finished him off, but 45 may have got there first. Talking about Burnett and Fisher. Those two right there. Here's Briggs. Right up the middle and not a whole lot there. Maybe a couple. Did he get enough for the first down? Depends on the spot. Yeah, right near the marker.
You know it's third and short, Kevin. You go on 3rd and 2 yards. You get your tailback. He's lined up at about 8 yards deep. Watch him here in the backfield. He's a long way from the line of scrimmage. It takes a long time to get there. And you're asking those offensive linemen to hold on to those blocks. See how deep he is here. He has to get up there. The blocks are there, but I tell you, it just takes too long. The guys on the defensive side of the ball come off the blocks and make the play.
We did get enough for the first down. The drive continues from the 39-yard line. We crossed the 4-minute mark in a scoreless first quarter. Penalty marker down. Cunningham trying to get to the corner. Forget about it. LeVar Fisher. Textbook tackling. Wow.
They just scrape it from the inside and coming around on the reverse. I think we're going to have a defensive penalty offsides, though.
Basically a 9-yard penalty because instead of a loss of 4, SMU will pick up a 5 and they'll scrimmage first down and 5. ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
5 yards, previous spot. Repeat first.
Well, he's fun to watch, I tell you that. I was looking forward to coming to this game because when you can see a linebacker play with the ability that he has, it just makes the game a lot more fun to watch. Take a look at the numbers that he's put up. Just really incredible in how well he's played. He's just climbing the tackle charts for the school.
Well, second down, making a first down and 5, beg your pardon. Ball from the 44-yard line. Kincaid coming near side, out near midfield, but pushed back after he gets to the 49-yard line. But still, good job up front. It's going to be close to a first down after the gain of 4. Marcus Hudson gets credited with the tackle.
Well, the counterplay basically is going to be one that's going to be run here by SMU a lot today. You're going to see the linebacker scrape here. Here comes our middle linebacker. We've been talking about him, Fisher. He's just trying to tackle anything that's there and continue to get to the running back. Kincaid, to his credit, he's continued to struggle for more yardage.
Second down and inches. Under 3 to go in the first quarter. The eyes of Kellen Luker surveying the situation. They run it. Kalon Kincaid has the first down and more as he's into the secondary and into Wolfpack territory. Another first down for SMU.
Offensive line for SMU, Kevin, is doing a nice job up front. The center, Thornton Chandler, just doing a nice job of continuing getting motion out there on his lineman, and James McCarthy, the left guard, and Kincaid does a nice job of cutting back inside on the stretch play and getting the first down for the Mustangs.
That's what SMU's been able to do on the ground. It's 6 times as many yards. Ray Robinson has only run the football once for The Wolfpack right up the middle. Briggs has 9, has 10 yards, and another SMU first down. Give the Ponies up front the credit. That offensive line opened some holes.
Well, I tell you what I'm seeing here is hat on hat. The offensive linemen are all locking up, and the running back's going to come through. Watch the left guard here just kind of lock up and make the hole open pretty evident there. Good job by the offensive line of continuing onto their blocks, and you get a big first down.
James McCarthy, the senior from Grapevine, the man you're talking about, 6'3", 295 pounds. He got the job done. Just short of the first down. Second down and 1 coming from the 39-yard line. Now they go to Briggs. Another hole, another first down to the 34-yard line. Julius Patterson made the stop, the junior from Morganton, North Carolina. And you don't want your safeties making tackles, and that's exactly what happened there for NC State, at least not on running plays up the middle.
Well, believe it or not, SMU's offensive line is larger in this football game. They're 297 pounds across, and Briggs on the stretch play just lets all the traffic go ahead and clear out of his way and cuts back nicely.
Again, Briggs up the middle. This time, not as easy going. Terrence Martin, the sophomore from Tayona, Virginia. His first man that got there. He made the stop for NC State after a gain of 2 yards.
You know, Kevin, when I talked to Buddy Green, the defensive coordinator for North Carolina State, he told me he didn't really know what to face on this football team because they haven't been able to get into a rhythm or a pattern because they put themselves in a position offensively for SMU where they were behind in games because of the turnovers and so forth. So now they're seeing a little more balanced attack, and they're showing SMU is that they can run the football.
Elon Kincaid, the single setback. On second down and 8 from the 31-yard line. Straight drop to throw. They do throw. Almost picked up. Tell you what, Brian Williams, he's a good one. Senior from High Point, North Carolina, and he almost came up with a pick there.
Well, he comes into the play because the wide receiver on that side, I think we might have a flag on the play, Kevin. I think it's an eligible receiver downfield.
I think you want to decline this.
We'll just go ahead and take the result of the play.
Yeah.
Ineligible receiver downfield by the offense. That penalty is refused. Third down.
Yeah, you make it a 3rd down and 8. That's exactly what North Carolina State is going to do.
Well, if I'm Mike Cavin here, I think I'd want to just think of this as 2 downs for a first down. You got 3rd down. Don't try to get it all at once. Go ahead and get your 4 or 5 and come back. That way you even have a chance to even kick a field goal, a long field goal, or even go for it on 4th down.
It's tough to get. It's tough to have an ineligible man downfield on a 2-step drop, but that's exactly what happened. I didn't think those ineligible receivers were fast enough to get that far downfield. Look out, here comes the pressure, and down goes Luker. LeVar Fisher got him. But a penalty marker is down. Has checked the marker. A big 4th down is coming up. 4th down and long is coming up, but first, let's find out what the yellow handkerchief is about.
Well, LeVar just slid to his weak side outside spot and came untouched. I don't know how you don't account for him. They're calling it offsides in the defense. Wow. Maybe he took a little step early there to get across the ball. Chuck Amato wants to sort this out and figure out what's going on. It was a big play by the defense, but it's going to be nullified by the penalty. See on the back side here, just going to come in and Fisher just tee off on the quarterback.
Offside by the defense, 5 yards, previous spot, still 3rd down.
Without question, mistakes that have really always gone, seems like they've gone against SMU in their first 2 games. Well, Chuck Amato's team feeling the wrath of the mistakes right now, and Mike Cavin's ball club are the beneficiaries as they get a 3rd down and 3 opportunity on what would have been about a 4th down and 15. Kincaid again, the setback. Straight drop, Luker. Looking near side, a timing pattern incomplete. Just never really did materialize as Cody Cardwell was out there, the intended receiver. But he had coverage and...
Well, trying to get the ball out to Cardwell on the outside. But watch the blitz come in here. But watch the offensive line of SMU pick it up. As you roll the play here, you'll see the pressure coming in. You can see the linebacker Burton on the right side and throw it up. Good job protection. The quarterback goes untouched. The ball is just a little bit outside and leads forward.
So 15 minutes in the books in Dallas, Texas. SMU and NC State have played a scoreless first quarter. We'll be back with the second quarter in just a moment. A fresh 15 on the board. The first scoring opportunity of the football game coming here on the first play of the second quarter. Jacob Crowley. See it up from 43 yards away, as long as 48 in his career. Good pass. I think it may have been blocked. What a surprise. The forte of NC State. Did somebody get a hand on that, or did he just mishit it?
It looks like he just kind of mishit the football, Kevin. He just kind of didn't get it, didn't hit it flush. I don't think anyone broke through. They had a pretty good surge and jump at the line of scrimmage, but I don't think Crowley got all he wanted on that kick. Take a look at it here.
Terrence Holt. That's, boy, I tell you, if he didn't, man, I don't know. He may have gotten a piece of it as high as he got.
Terrence Holt got up there, that's for sure.
Hey, Holt is
come from a good bloodline there.
Yeah,
good,
he does.
Good,
his brother, I think, is going to be a pretty decent
player.
receiver. Yeah. Actually, his brother, of course, Torrey Holt, the St. Louis Ram wide receiver, I think leading the NFL in receiving right now. Right up the middle, and not a whole lot there. Randy McElvoy is down on the sidelines.
Yeah, Kevin, just a few minutes ago when they're on the sidelines, I spoke briefly with Kevin Aldridge, number 11 for SMU, the defensive end from Jacksonville. I said, what are they doing? Anything surprising you guys out there? He said, the only thing we're surprised about is they haven't tried any trick plays yet, what North Carolina State is well known for.
Still plenty of time for that. Just 30 seconds deep here in the second quarter. Give Ray Robinson the single setback behind Phillip Rivers, North Carolina State quarterback. They hand it to Robinson. Good. Swarming defense right now. A lot of blue jerseys really flying to the football. And Kevin Aldridge, the aforementioned all-WAC honorable mention player, was the first man to get there.
Well, that's what this defense wants to do. They'll play solid inside. They just don't want to give up the big play, Kevin. Do a good job on the running game. I don't think North Carolina State has got established any rhythm. They really want to be more of a 60% throwing the football, 40% running it. It seems like they're trying to do it all on the ground today.
Third down and 10. Rivers directing traffic. Here comes the rush, gets it away. But well short of the first down, didn't even get to the 30. Maybe a gain of a couple. Troy Graham made the reception, his second of the year, as Shane O'Neal was right there to wrap him up. The senior from Humble, Texas. He found his man, he got his man, and didn't let him go. And it's punt time again for North Carolina State.
Well, Rivers under duress, drops it underneath, and Shane O'Neal comes up from his secondary spot, does a nice job of the tackle and negating the chance for the first down. That was an excellent job by the defense of SMU.
Cunningham back deep. Another good punt by Herbert. A lot of white jerseys. Cunningham, but not a whole lot there. 44-yard punt. Return of 6. 13:04 to go, second quarter. We're scoreless. SMU is a young football team and playing well right now. Is scoreless with 13:04 to go, second quarter. Chris Briggs, nope, on the play action, they throw it, it's picked up. Here comes Terrence Holt. Penalty marker is down. Holt back to the 35 to the 30. Terrence Holt to the 15 and the 10-yard line, but again, the penalty marker is down way back where the interception was made.
Well, Terrence Holt had such good coverage. What he did, he pulled himself in front of the receiver to go get the football. It was going to be defensive holding on the play.
Interference.
Yeah, take a look over here on the right side of your screen. Watch number 9, Holt, come into the picture, and he's going to be right behind. Watch him push away and make the play. So, you know, Ford had a chance to make the catch if the ball if he hadn't been pushed out of the way.
Well, that negates the turnover and will give SMU an automatic first down.
You know who feels real good right now?
Who's that?
Luker.
Yeah, no kidding. So does Randy McElvoy. He's standing by.
Hey, Kevin, thanks. You're looking at Vic Valoria, junior linebacker, Butkus Award candidate. Sprained left ankle. They're treating him right now. Second time he's had to get retaped. He'll be back in there soon, though.
You won't keep him out.
No.
He's a throwback. He's one of those old-fashioned linebackers, likes to get in there and get tough and get down and get dirty, and he'll be out there.
First down and 10 from the 47. That is now 47 yards of penalties against NC State. Not a whole lot there. Lamar Fisher, what a surprise. First man to get to him. Well, every night at 10, it's a Southwest Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to the home teams throughout the Southwest. For extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews, catch the Southwest Sports Report nightly at 10, only on Fox Sports Net. We'll have plenty to talk about tonight in college football throughout the area. Houston Cougars and Texas Longhorns playing later on tonight, but business here has been pretty good. Jason Phillips inside the 40, and again in NC State territory down to the 39-yard line. Terrence Holt made the stop, the second team All-ACC player, but not before a big game by Jason Pipkins.
Well, screen play well set up by the Mustangs. Good job of letting the linemen come through and rush the quarterback, and Luker takes all of them on himself. He has to throw it around. Does a good job delivering the ball to his back, and good blocking out front.
A gain of 23. We're scoreless. SMU has dominated so far. Now, if you're SMU, that's a good thing. Problem for them, though, is they haven't been able to put in points on the board. We're scoreless with 11:35 to go first half. Scoreless in Dallas, but SMU on the move again with 11:35 to play with Gary Reasons and Randy McAvoy. I'm Kevin Eschenfelder, and hand it off to Chris Briggs coming near side, and Briggs again out near another first down into the NC State secondary where LeVar Fisher was finally there to finish him off.
Good job by Briggs of keeping his feet moving, had penetration along the defensive line. I think that was Birdwell. Come through, watch number 90 slip through there and almost get Briggs here with his right hand right there and missed him, and Briggs has enough presence. Good block that time on Fisher by the tight end. Excellent job there on the slant counter play by Mustangs.
So second down and 2 after the gain of 8. Briggs again, the misdirection, has the first down and more. Inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, Terrence Holt finally making the stop. And right now, SMU winning the battle up front.
Well, Larry Keck, the offense coordinator at SMU, is doing a good job of play calling. Where he's winning this football game is between the tackles. His offensive line is doing a good job of blocking. A lot of misdirection. You're seeing a lot of players coming across the ball. You see the production here from SMU completely dominating this game. And I tell you, it's really because the offensive linemen, how well they played, and the backs have found the holes, Kevin.
105 total yards to 14. 10.5 to go in the first half. Briggs again over the right side, and again the offensive line whipping the defensive line right now. You can count it off at a gain of 6 yards.
Well, North Carolina State is really just going to change the whole defensive front. They're not happy about the production of those guys. They took 4 players off the field, 4 new ones on. You see them going off right now, and they need to get a little something different there for their front defensively. And now offense for SMU, they're just taking it to them.
Sean Price, Jerry Hall, Darius Bryant, Terrence Chapman, 4 fresh down linemen have all come in for North Carolina State. There's a mass exodus there. They go to Kincaid, and this time nothing doing. It was stuffed first. Chapman got there, and then he came up and had some support from the safety, Terrence Holt.
Well, we'll take a look at the left guard here, James McCarthy. See how well he does here. Take a look at him, get a hand on hand. He's got a little double team action there. He's trying to climb the linebacker, lets him go a little bit too early. But he's done a pretty good job so far today. That whole offensive line up front, McCarthy in the center. Chandler done a pretty good job inside working on that play.
A big third down. Third down 4 from the 19-yard line. First time either team has been inside the other's 20. Luker had it batted away and knocked down. Imagine that. LeVar Fisher there again. Chapman was as well.
Well, the red zone problems that SMU has had, Kevin, have just barely been that. They haven't been able to convert. Now they're going to have to go for another seemingly long field goal, but you've got to wonder if they're just losing confidence when they get down here. I don't think they're pulling the reins back, but they just need to be able to execute to get that one more first down to where they can take a shot at the end zone.
36-yard try from Crowley. He missed earlier from 43. NC State loves to block kicks. Plenty of distance, and he is good. So Jacob Crowley, the senior from Garland, Texas, good from 35 yards out, and SMU on the board. Kellen Luker's offense has gotten the job done, particularly the guys up front, but SMU just with a 3-0 lead with 9:01 to go in the second quarter. Been a nice tandem in the back from Chris Briggs and Kalon Kincaid. We've been able to pick up some big yardage.
8 plays, 49 yards. They kick the field goal, does a nice job. And took 4 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. So SMU is winning as far as possession, controlling the football, and they're not making mistakes turning it over, Kevin.
Ray Robinson and Greg Golden back deep for North Carolina State. But quite honestly right now, NC State just doesn't look like a very inspired football team. It's been a tough go so far the first 18 minutes of this ball game. Comes down to Ray Robinson, the senior from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Has a seam. Out to the 35, out to the 37-yard line, and NC State with good field position to start this drive. "30-yard return for Robinson with 8:50 to go. SMU leading at 3-0. Well, it's the new show everybody's been talking about, the best sports show period, featuring a comedian who's a diehard sports fan, a bunch of ex-jocks who really know the game with sports comedy, commentary, and constantly updated scores and highlights. What more could you want from a show, including introducing the best sports show period, premiering Monday at 11:30 on Fox Sports Net. Robinson out to the 40-yard line, breaks outside near midfield. That may be the biggest offensive play that NC State has been able to put together today.
And really just a simple play. It's just a simple screen pass, almost a toss to your tailback. Get him out behind the offensive lineman who come out to block for him. It's a good little feel-good play. Watch him here. The quarterback is going to release, and the lineman will release out in front of him. Good job of picking people up, and Robinson breaks a tackle or two. He gets a pretty good gain for the Wolfpack.
We are 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. That is the first down for North Carolina State. Robinson back up the middle, maybe a couple. SMU, conversely, with 10 first downs here through the first quarter and a half.
Talk about the SMU offensive line winning the line of scrimmage. The SMU defense is winning the line of scrimmage too, Kevin. When I look down there, I see penetration, the guy standing up the offensive lineman, and they're able to control those blocks and get off and make plays, and they've got just a short game there on first down.
NC State trying to go where they have not gone today. It's inside SMU territory. Rivers from the shotgun. Gets it out. And Robinson will be near a first down. Probably going to be a couple of yards short. A gain of 6 on 3rd down and 9. Or the 2nd down and 9, I should say. So a 3rd down is coming.
Yeah, it looks like a 4 wide receiver offense. You got a big tight end who you spread him out, and you spread the defense out, just swing it to your back. Just a toss play basically to him. He's able to get in behind the lineman and pick up a few yards, but the swarming SMU defense stopped him short of the first down.
Call it 3rd down and 3 from the 44. Robinson and Jackson, the split backs. Quick drop, complete. Well, I don't know. That's not going to be enough. But Jericho Kochery, the sophomore out of Birmingham, Alabama, was he enough for the first down? Would he go to the stick? That's the question.
Well, take a look at Rivers here. He sees the coverage, and watch what he sees here. He's going to be able to deliver. Watch how quickly he gets rid of the football. It's a little stop route. Nobody comes up fast enough to make the play. Good job that time of the offense. That's a recognition between the quarterback and the receiver, and Rivers just delivers it on timing. The inside linebacker has to come out and make the play. Too far to go out there.
Shane O'Neal and Corey Riley. That's enough for the first down. Those are the two Mustangs that teamed up on the tackle. Riley playing right now for Vic Valoria, who was over getting his ankle tape. Valoria now back in there. So the drive rolls on for the Wolfpack from the 41-yard line. Looks like Rivers is checking off of the line of scrimmage. Wants to go up top, does, incomplete. Good coverage by Kevin Garrett, who was there step for step, the junior from Brazoria, Texas. Good cover man, and he had nice coverage there.
Well, the coaches tell me he has good ability, good job on the outside of staying with him. The safety came over for the help from the middle of the field. Just one coverage, one safety deep, and the corners are locked up man to man, and Chuck Amados wants something to happen, go his way out there for the Wolfpack.
Been a grind for Phillip Rivers and his offense today. 7 of 9, but just for 27 yards. Throws this one complete. Big Willie Wright, 6'4" senior, makes the catch, and Reuben Moodley there to make the stop as we cross the 7-minute mark in the second quarter.
Big target here for Rivers. Comes across on the left side of your screen. You'll see Wright come right in front of you here. Take a look. Going to deliver it. When you see the quarterback Rivers throwing the football, it's not a picture-perfect delivery by any means. It reminds me of an old Bernie Kosar type of delivery. Watch how he kind of slings the ball. That's the way Bernie used to throw it. Not real pretty, but very effective.
That's what he said. Never have been pretty. 8 of 11, 38 yards for Phillip Rivers. Said, but I've always been effective. He's a coach's son. Right up the middle, not a whole lot there on first down. His father, Steve Rivers, actually took a job in Raleigh after coaching him at Athens, Alabama. This young man, an academic all-ACC performer, say very mature. He's the same today as he was the first day he walked on campus as a freshman in preseason drills, actually spring drills, because he graduated from high school early.
There's a Davey O'Brien Award, finalist here, at least a candidate this year for that award. Very talented quarterback.
Got married in the off-season. Married his, not high school sweetheart, middle school sweetheart. Now he'll throw for the end zone. Good coverage and incomplete. Shane O'Neal, boy, was there step for step. Did an outstanding job covering Jericho Cotchery.
Well, Rivers is going to take a little bit here and come to the outside, but you see the coverage out deep. Shane does a nice job of staying with him, and Rivers just buys a little time here. Then he decides to throw it up deep, and good coverage in the end zone. He releases, and the ball is overthrown.
Second time we've called Shane O'Neal's name. That's just outstanding coverage. So 3rd down and 9. Just a tick under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Great job of finding the open man inside the 10. Goes Jericho Cotchery. Vic Valoria made the stop. But what a job by the quarterback getting outside and giving himself a little more time.
That's exactly what happened. Rivers just bought himself some time. And the defense did what they shouldn't do, and that is they stop. They need to turn and find a receiver because the receiver breaks free. You see him standing there right between in an open space. There actually, O'Neal was inside and covering him, but he turned to watch the quarterback, and then he broke away from it.
Check out this formation. There's a full house backfield that they shift out of. Now Robinson, the single setback for North Carolina State. Robinson trying the right side, tried to get to the corner, couldn't quite get there as Kevin Garrett, the cornerback, came up to make the stop. 2nd down and goal coming from the 3-yard line.
Well, you saw that formation as a start to play, Kevin. It's a shift. It's the way they get out. They do a little bunch, and then they explode and go back and set up, or they'll go 4 wide receiver package out of that. A little bit of trying to get the defense out of alignment.
They mark it down at the 2-yard line. 2nd down and goal. Robinson and Cotray Jackson in the backfield. Touchdown, North Carolina State. Oh, an impressive drive as they've been stagnant offensively all afternoon. They come right out there firing on all cylinders.
Well, watch him, middle linebacker Vic Valoria. He's going to scrape to the outside. I think his ankle is bothering him here. Watch him just release too far outside. He can't cut back to make the tackle on Robinson. Kind of playing shorthanded when your linebackers can't run. Watch Valoria. He can't stop. His ankle gives way. A good job of running that time by the Wolfpack.
Herbert for the point after. He's good. So an 11-play, 62-yard drive couldn't have come at any better time for the NC State Wolfpack as they lead it now with 5:52 to go in the first half. Seven to 3 as North Carolina State answers back with an impressive drive with 5:52 to go. Hadn't had a first down for Chuck Amato's ball club in this entire ball game until that last drive. His quarterback was impressive too. Those 11 plays and 62 yards. You see what Robinson did. But Rivers, the quarterback, 5 of 7 for 52 of the 62 yards. So 7-3 NC State. Herbert kicking it away. Briggs from the 3. Out to the 27-yard line where Kellen Luker will bring his offense out. Every night at 10, it's the Southwest Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to the home teams throughout the Southwest. Plenty of college football coverage coming up tonight, as well as the Astros and Chicago Cubs. Talk about them as well. It's all coming up tonight at 10 on your Southwest Sports Report. 5:08 to play here in Dallas. North Carolina State in the first half, leading at 7-3.
Well, Mike Cabin wants his offense, Kevin, to pick up where they left off, and that's winning the game at the line of scrimmage. I'd expect nothing less than to go right at them.
Here's Briggs. Made a couple of men miss. Gets out to the 32-yard line. LeVar Fisher and Terrence Holt were there, and they didn't miss. They came calling, and they were in a hurry when they got there.
LeVar Fisher really can run.
Man.
I'm telling you. Watch him come across the field and just lay into the running back. Doing a good job just hitting him hard.
Well, the speed of the defense for North Carolina State, they thought was the biggest improvement over a year ago, and they were good a year ago as this team went 8-4 and went to the Micron PC Bowl where they knocked off Minnesota. They're looking for bigger things this year. And no doubt, they watched their brethren over in Chapel Hill knocking off Florida State earlier today, and that's a gleam of hope for everyone in the ACC. You know, good years expected from Clemson.
There was a false start by the offense, 5 yards, and it's still second down.
Clemson and Georgia Tech, you're going to know what you're going to get from them, but this really does, Clemson and Georgia Tech, you know what you're going to get from them, but now Florida State going down to North Carolina, an 0-3 North Carolina team. Who would have thought that?
Well, for a number of years, Florida State has set the tone in that conference, and when you can knock the big boy off the top, you're saying something about what can be done against him.
Yep, leaves a lot of things wide open. Throw back to Briggs. He's got a mile to run. Knocked down at the 35-yard line. What a great call.
It was. Excellent play call by Larry Keck, the offense coordinator. Hey, they've been running this stretch play over and over, the slant counter. Go ahead and fake it. Hey, we'll run the bootleg. But don't account for that running back. He just swings out the back door, does a good job of delivering, and then he does a little bit of running on his own. Good job by Briggs in the open field.
Gain of 44 yards. Stepped out of bounds at the 36. Keelan Kincaid comes into the setback. Straight drop, Luker. Throws this one incomplete off the hand of Chris Cunningham. Led him just a little bit too much.
Well, the pass was errant, but I tell you, the protection by the offensive line from SMU was excellent, Kevin. Luker was able to stand in there flat-footed. Nobody really impeded him, and he waited because the receiver went all the way across the field, but just led the receiver a little bit too far. But that offensive line is doing a good job of holding North Carolina State out.
3:38 to go in the first half at halftime. Be sure to stay with us. R. Gerald Turner, the SMU president, will be joining us. Randy McElroy will be talking with some coaches, as well as getting updated on some scores and highlights. It's all coming up at halftime. Keelan Kincaid providing some highlights of his own, out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Terrence Holt finally escorted him out of bounds. But another big gainer, a gain of 26 yards.
Well, just a draw play, and Kincaid shows that he knows how to set up his blocks. You take him looking right in your living room, he's going to come right at you, folks, and then turn to the outside because he sees the line of blockers from his outside. Watch your receivers block and cut the linebacker Holt. The safety Holt's coming to come up and make the play to the outside. Kincaid shows that he's got the nifty feet to get outside and make a big run.
Well, the ball inside the 10, so it's first down and goal. Now they go back to Briggs. Lost the football. NC State has it.
Yeah, but there's a penalty, Kevin. I think we might have a defensive penalty offsides here or a false start.
LeVar Fisher got there in a big, big hurry. You got it. But penalties not just in number or yardage, have been a killer for NC State. Had a 15-yarder that continued a scoring drive for SMU when they got their 3 points.
Offsides by the defense, 5 yards, previous spot, repeat first down.
It's 52 yards and a huge break. This would have been rather than 2nd and goal.
Well, I think that he sensed the play was actually going to stop and be whistled dead. That's probably what happened. The whistles were already blowing, and lucky for him.
How about they both saw Fisher and said, hey, no, you take it. And penalty markers again.
Prior to the snap, that was a false start by the offense. 5 yards, it's still first down.
You know, the last 45 seconds of our lives could have just, they could have been voided and we never would have missed anything. 5-yard penalty one way and it came right back, and now we're looking right back where we were.
Well, the good thing for the Ponies was the ball was never turned over and they still have a chance to breathe here. They're in this red area, Kevin, where they have not executed very well, putting points on the board. They want to get something here, a little more than a field goal.
First down and goal from the 10. Luca throws it complete, but not a lot. Cunningham caught it on the crossing pattern, but maybe a gain of a yard. Brian Williams, great cover guy, was right there.
Watch from the right side of your screen going across, and Brian Williams tracking him down. But again, Luker had great time there to throw the football. That takes a long time for that play to develop. His offensive line is doing a good job for him. They've got to find a way to get a little more separation up the field. They can't throw the ball short all night.
I think the cornerback Williams can fly a little bit. He was right there step for step with the wide receiver. 2nd and goal from the 9. Briggs, nothing doing.
Yeah, like Roger Pollard, the linebacker from the outside. Little blitz package here, little pressure here. Watch him come off the right side of the line here and just listen to it play.
You know it's a good lick when you don't have to watch it. You can just hear it.
And that's a couple of good plays for that linebacker today.
They'll move it back to the 14-yard line. 3rd down and goal. Play clock down to 1. They get it off. Here comes the blitz. They throw for the corner. Touchdown, SMU. John Hampton had to wait for the signal, and a late penalty marker comes in. This may be for celebration.
That's going to be a celebration, but they've got good reason to. Luker, the quarterback, delivers a strike. The tight end, Hampton, goes up with his height. Excellent throw it over the top and let him catch it. Watch Luker look him all the way in here. The tight end's going to come into your living room, folks. The ball's over the top. Well done by the Ponies.
That's good coverage, too, by Marcus Hudson. He was right, did everything he could do.
Sometimes the throw is a little bit better than the coverage, and in that case, it's a score for the Mustangs.
After the touchdown, that was unsportsmanlike by the offense. 15 yards on the try. The touchdown stands.
Well, they'll move it way back to kick the extra point here.
But it feels good.
Yeah.
It'll be a good opportunity to put an extra point on the board, even though it's a 35-yard extra point.
So Crowley, he's been good from 35 yards so far. And this, though, for 1, not 3. And how's that? So the Ponies with 1:47 put it in the end zone and take a 10-7 lead. Well, that's a new show everyone's been talking about, the best sports show period, featuring a comedian who's a diehard sports fan, a bunch of ex-jocks who really know the game with sports commentary, and constantly updated scores and highlights. What more could you want from a show introducing the best sports show period? Premiering Monday at 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
We've got a pretty good sports show here, Kevin. SMU has come out and they've played very well. Offensively, up front, their offensive line has dominated. Defensively, they've done a pretty good job against North Carolina State. Although North Carolina State, when they had the ball the last time they drove the field, Chuck Amato and his bunch came out here to Dallas, Texas, and didn't really know what kind of a group they'd face with SMU because they haven't been in an offensive situation where they can use their whole package. They've had to throw the ball quite a bit from being behind. But today, with kind of an even playing field, SMU shows that balance is going to win them football games.
What do you think, Randy McElvoy?
Hey, I tell you what, this offensive line awfully excited about the way they're playing some football tonight. Daniel Baker is the O-line coach here at SMU, telling his troops, encouraging these guys. He's saying, in between series, come over here, calm yourself, and then go out and make things click, assignment first, and then give a lot of effort. They're giving a lot of effort so far tonight.
Now the key for SMU, you score with 1:47, you have all the momentum on your side. Don't let things get away from you because they're probably going to have a short field to work with here. See if they go ahead and kick it deep. Robinson and Greg Golden back deep for North Carolina State. Robinson from 2 yards, 5 yards deep. He'll stay in, so good time for a touchback for the Ponies. Well, Phillip Rivers really looked like he caught his momentum on that last drive as he took the Wolfpack in for a score. He'll have 1:47 to work with here.
And I really wouldn't be surprised if North Carolina State comes out and try to use their full complement of their offense. The screen play has been effective for them outside. The little swing pass to Robinson, the tailback, and they've done a nice job with that. I'd expect them to try to do something similar here to see if they can get a drive started.
Both drives that SMU has been able to score on have been aided by penalties. They throw this one complete. Far side and getting out of bounds is Troy Graham after he made the stop, sophomore out of Miami Central High School.
Well, they've got a talented team there. I tell you, a year ago, they had a wide receiver, Corin Robinson, Kevin, who was just a sophomore at North Carolina State. He chose to go to the NFL draft. It was a first-round draft pick, the 9th player picked overall by the Seahawks. That tells you the type of talent that North Carolina State has in their program. They've just got a lot of young receivers out there tonight.
Adrian Wilson, who made the club in Arizona, a 3rd-round pick, free safety. Both of those in the 2001 draft. Rivers looking to get rid of it, does. Cotchery catch it. Jericho Cotchery makes the catch at the 36-yard line. Is enough for a first down with 95 seconds remaining in the first half.
Cotchery showed some excellent body control that time, getting his feet set, waiting for the ball to get there. Just kind of hanging on the sidelines. You'll see it here. Rivers is going to deliver outside there. And watch Cotchery. He's got his feet down. Good catch, good delivery. The line judge is right there, makes an excellent call.
Another key, too, if it's going to be a short pattern like that, go past the sticks. That's exactly what he did. First and 10 from the 36. 4 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Here comes the blitz. Rivers threw it away. They wanted, of course, the partisan fans here wanted intentional grounding, but Kevin Aldridge was right there in the face of Phillip Rivers. He did throw it in the direction of wide receivers.
Well, that's one of the intangibles that Phillip Rivers has as a quarterback, a smart player. He wants to come down here to his tight end, but he doesn't throw it on timing. They've got pressure on him here. He's got him wrapped up. Aldridge does, and he throws it, but there are receivers in the way, so it's not a grounding penalty.
2nd down and 10. 1.5 minutes remaining. Rivers had it knocked down. Well, I think it was Kevin Aldridge again.
It was. Kevin Aldridge in the middle. Just kind of mirroring the quarterback there and doing a good job of, hey, if you can't get there, the linemen are taught to go ahead and get your hands up. You find number 11 here. He's going to come to the right side of your screen and just drift in there and get his hand up. He's getting blocked, but go ahead and get the hand up when he throws the football and knocks it down.
Well, it took only 4 seconds off the clock, but a 3rd down and 10 now facing NC State. Four wide for Rivers. Here comes Aldridge again. And Kevin Aldridge, the senior from Jacksonville, Texas, honorable mention All-Western Athletic Conference a year ago, and man, this kid has come to play.
Well, he turned his motor up on that series, that's for sure, Kevin. 271-pound rusher, does a nice job here, gets around on the outside and gets into the face of Rivers, who's not the most mobile quarterback in the world, about 6'5", but has enough presence of mind to get rid of the football.
Randy McElvoy picked the right guy to talk to and get his opinion down on the field. Cunningham from the 21-yard line. Out to the 30, a return of 9 yards, where 69 seconds remaining for SMU to try to do something with it after a 44-yard punt.
Well, Kevin, if the half ends right here, I think that Mike Cabot and his SMU bunch is going to feel real good about the first half. They've controlled the ball offensively. They've dominated the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively. On the other hand, North Carolina State and Chuck Amato, they got to go back in and regroup. Hey, 2 weeks ago against Indiana, they were explosive offensively. We haven't seen any of that today.
They were explosive offensively. They were opportunistic defensively, and their special teams were out of this world. We have not seen that at all, like you said. Right up the middle, Kincaid, another spin move, mark him off, a gain of 11 yards.
Well, that's a good move, but I tell you, it's a dangerous move. You go to the well too many times, they're going to pick your pocket. But Kincaid, he gets around for the second time on the spin move. Remember, earlier in the football game, he tried to spin and they dropped the ball. Behind him, they pulled it out, but he's going to spin here in the open field and just going to leave a guy in his tracks. I kind of like it, and I kind of don't sometimes.
Well, NC State last year in Raleigh beat SMU 41-0. They scored on the second play of the game and really never looked back. Different story here in Dallas. Fake the reverse. Kincaid out to the 46-yard line. I think Mike Cabot and company will be very content to go to the locker room with a 10-7 lead. A reminder, Gerald Turner, the president of SMU, will be visiting with us in just a couple of minutes. His clock ticks down on a first half. First half that I'm sure he enjoyed very much. Blow the play dead with 6 seconds remaining.
Five yards and it's still second down.
Well, not a bad play, Kevin, but one they wanted to just go ahead and get out and execute and throw it down the field. Now I really think they'll just try to spread the field and throw it down there, or they're going to let the clock expire. They do.
Let it expire. Why not? Well, SMU answering the critics. NC State embarrassed them last year, 41-0. So far in this first half, they lead at 10-7. And I tell you what, the game has not been as close as the score.
No, the game has really been controlled by SMU. The Mustangs have, like I said earlier, Kevin, done an excellent job offensively on the line, controlling the line of scrimmage. Hey, they've just overpowered North Carolina State's defense.
Randy McElvoy standing by.
All right, Kevin Checamato, head coach, NC State. Your thoughts on the first half offensively? What's SMU, actually defensively, what's SMU throwing at you guys?
They're whipping our butt. That's what they're doing. It's very easy. They're whipping our fanny on both sides of the football. We didn't have a first down the first 21 minutes of this football game. We can't play defense all day long, but we just got to whip some fanny on both sides.
What's the key to the second half for you guys?
Just getting physical up front.
Very good. Checamato, head coach of NC State. His Wolfpack down 10-7 at the half. Gerald Ford Stadium here in Dallas. Halftime festivities continue on Fox Sports Net.
What a difference a year makes, and what a first half for SMU as they lead at 10-7 over North Carolina State. Welcome you back up into the booth. It is an honor and a pleasure to welcome our Gerald Turner, the president of Southern Methodist University. We talk about football and we come out here and watch the games. That's a lot of fun, but obviously this has been a couple of weeks like none other in this country, especially for students at that age. And how have you guys been handling it? What have you seen on your campus?
We've worked very hard to make sure that all the students have the opportunity to get the understanding about it, the support services, and just to meet with each other. We've had 3 campus-wide meetings, one at noon on Tuesday of the event. And so the students have responded very well, and the parents have been understanding, and we've been basically just trying to put all this in perspective for them.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk. Some conferences wanted to play last week. Some didn't want to play. At first, they decided that they were going to play. Then when they went back after the NFL, what was your thought? Did you think they should have played last week?
No, I really think they should not have. No one really wanted to. There wasn't any mood. There wasn't any energy. There really wasn't any interest in it.
As far as, the historic value, I think, you deal with kids that are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old on a daily basis. Has this really been kind of somewhat of a wake-up call? I know even for my generation, it's not been a situation where we've lived a very comfortable life. Has it been kind of a wake-up call for these people?
It really has. It's been a shock to them. They've really not had anything in their experience to help them deal with it. And so there's the reassessment that students of this age are having to go through is really very anxiety arousing to them. And so I think all campuses have worked very hard to try to help them deal with this situation.
I guess the best way at getting on with these things, you don't forget. You just try to heal and go on. And that includes going back and doing things like this. You guys have a lot of things going on campus this weekend.
We do. We've got a lot of blood drives going on next week. We've got the American Red Cross this week, the Boy Scouts. We're helping with a food drive. Just about anything that the students have wanted to do, we've tried to find some way for that to be expressed.
I'm glad we're talking to you this year instead of last year because it's a lot more fun of a football game. What have you thought of your first half?
I thought we played very well. The intensity that our defense in particular has been playing is really exciting. Given that we're 0-2, maybe we can join the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill today with a big upset.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming by. R. Gerald Turner, the president of Southern Methodist University. Thank you, Dr. Turner. We'll have more when we come back in just a moment. SMU leading North Carolina State 10-7 at halftime. Now let's go down on the field for the SMU marching band. Great looking evening for football here in Dallas, Texas. And I tell you, a lot of people walking around here up in this press box area. They're very happy right now after getting shut out 41-0. SMU on top 10-7. They've been impressive here in this first half.
They have. They've been impressive offensively, defensively. They've controlled the line of scrimmage. That's the most important thing, Kevin. They haven't self-destructed. The turnover woes that they've had in the first couple of ball games this year just haven't been present today.
Boy, I tell you, conversely, NC State has not been able to take care of business. They've had some huge penalties. They had one penalty that it took away a turnover. They actually had two that took away turnovers, an interception and a fumble recovery.
Well, they were opportunistic a couple of weeks back when they played Indiana. Everything worked well for them then. Today it's not working well. Credit SMU. The aggressiveness that they're playing offensively and defensively, just been a great job by the Ponies.
Yeah, you talk about SMU's defense. Offensively, they've done a great job, really, particularly up front with the front four. But on the flip side of that, defensively, NC State didn't have its first down until about midway through the second quarter.
Well, they've controlled the football offensively, and when the defense has gone out for SMU. They've done a nice job of keeping it between the tackles, and the play action type passing and the quick passing that North Carolina State wants to get accomplished, they're not getting it done today. Phillip Rivers is not on timing. His receivers are young. They've got some young guys out there. It may take some more time to mature.
They talk about SMU. They've had trouble putting the ball on the ground in the first 2 games of this season. It looked like that was going to be a problem early on in this ball game. As take a look at the first half highlights.
You see Kincaid, the tailback here, coming around. He gets swatted from behind, and Holt comes up for the turnover for North Carolina State, and SMU saying, oh no, here we go again. Well, they try a field goal, and it's just kind of bladed and cut short, so they negated a chance by SMU to come back. But the running game has really picked up well, and you see Briggs here, the tailback, following his blocks on the counter play, and then they convert with a field goal, which goes up 3-0 for SMU. But North Carolina State responds, and the quarterback, Rivers, just buys some time and throws down here a 17-yard completion inside. This is the country, and then a little run here by Robinson for the score. They fought back, and they got ahead 7-3, Kevin.
The running back comparison has been not much of a comparison at all, and this is the quarterback that's got it done for the most part. There, the touchdown pass to the big tight end. And that is where we stand right now, 10-7, SMU on top. You talk about the running backs for SMU. They have done an outstanding job getting things together. In this one is Kincaid with 67 yards, Briggs with 46 yards rushing. Conversely, it's been the guy from NC State, I'm sorry, Robinson. He has had 17 yards in that first half.
Well, Robinson had a tough go, but it was the SMU defense that did well. Kincaid, offensively for SMU, showed me a lot of poise, a lot of talent. I tell you, he sets up his blocks very well and picks his holes and does a good job of running. And Briggs is a little more of a power back, so it's a good compliment for both running backs from the tailback position for the Mustangs.
Well, right now it all adds up to a 10-7 ball game as SMU is on top at halftime. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more from Dallas in just a moment. SMU leading it right now by a score of 10-7 here at halftime. The numbers from this first half, Gary Reasons, pretty reminiscent of the way the first half has gone. Game really hasn't been as close as the score may indicate. SMU, that may be a problem for them because they've pretty much dominated offensively and defensively. Really one drive for North Carolina State that's gotten them on the board.
Well, I'll tell you, they've done very well rushing the football, passing the football. 202 yards total compared to 92 for North Carolina State. Look at this here, folks. 20 minutes. They've had the ball control all quarter, or excuse me, the whole first half. And the penalties really for North Carolina State have been plaguing them too. Inopportune times for the penalty, which has given SMU a little more life.
Yeah, interception that was called back after a Terrence Holt, interference penalty, and then an offsides by LeVar Fisher, who negated a fumble, and that's been pretty much the story. As SMU leads it 10-7, they come out for the second half. We'll be back with more in a moment.
All right, ready to start the second half. First, couple of comments from Coach Cabin. You look, we talked about before the game, getting this rushing game going. You guys did that.
Well, we did. You know, it's a long second half. We got 30 more minutes of football, and I'm sure NC State's going to come out ready to play in the second half. Our kids played awfully well the first half. We got a few breaks, too. You know, had some things called back that they made some good plays on, so we've been fortunate. We just got to stay with it.
All right, good luck in the second half. Mike Cabin, head coach of SMU. He wants a win. We'll see what happens here in the second half. Kevin, Gary.
All right, thank you very much. 10-7 the score here at halftime. LeVar Fisher, I'm sure, had some words for his mates on the defensive side because it has been a tough first half for them, without question. Fisher and D'Antonio Burnett had to make a whole lot of tackles.
Kevin, has been a good half here for SMU going into the second half. They've controlled the line of scrimmage, the time on the clock, everything has gone their way. Mike Cabin comes out, and cautiously, I think so, because he knows that he has to get another good half out of his football team. They did not, they have to play the other half to win this football game, and North Carolina State is a good quality club, and they can come turn things on. Their defense is explosive. They can make big plays. The thing that Mike Cabin really wants to do is he doesn't want to give them any life and give Chuck Amato and his bunch turnovers or unnecessary field position.
Absolutely. So 10-7 the score. Again, said it before, we'll say it again. 41-0 was the score last year when these two teams met. Wasn't even close. The third meeting all time. Had to go way back to 1968. Last time these clubs went head to head. In that one, SMU won that. So the series tied at 1, but
at halftime. The guys in blue with much more to cheer about, but like Matt Cavin said, still a ton of football left to be played. So Golden and Ray Robinson go deep. Adam Walter-Scheid with the ball teed up at the 35-yard line as we get set to get underway here in the second half. Low liner, and that went out of bounds, so NC State with the option. And that one's not much of a question.
An easy choice, take the ball with good field position, put your offense out there. I think Chuck Amato wants to get his bunch out there and execute, try to get some things going offensively because they really didn't have any rhythm in the first half. They did have the one drive in the second quarter to put the touchdown on the board, but really they did not have a lot going against the Mustangs defense.
So here we go from the 35-yard line, just underway in the third quarter. SMU impressive in the first. They lead it 10-7. But an explosive NC State offense takes the field. Rivers straight drop to throw for Cotchery. It was a good idea. Cotchery had stepped out of bounds actually before he'd even touched the ball. Nice, again, Kevin Garrett with a nice coverage there, step for step with his man.
Well, but Kevin Garrett, what he did, he disguised his coverage early, but he runs up to the line of scrimmage and actually goes across the line of scrimmage as a penalty. It's going to be offsides by the defense.
You know, the official, I never saw him throw. He threw his hat as if to say a lot of times they will say they'll throw the hat if an eligible receiver steps out of bounds, becoming ineligible.
Fouls against the defense, offsides by the defense. That foul is refused. The penalty is refused. Pass interference, defense. That's a spot foul. First down.
He did. He had two penalties. He had two penalty markers. He threw both of them, and then he threw his hat on the third one. So you take the 15-yarder, or the 10-yarder, I should say. Here's Robinson. Boy, not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Another penalty marker comes down.
Well, there was a hole there for just a minute or so, or just a few seconds, and Robinson couldn't get through it. Good job that time by Keegan Weir. Maybe going to be caught on the line for holding in the backfield.
Nope, it's against the... well, you got
face mask.
Hands to the
face by probably one of the rushers trying to get in the Wolfpack defensive offensive backfield.
Well, he threw the flag right at Keegan Weir.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15 yards, previous spot, first down.
I think the defender grabbed Weir by the face mask. You know, don't generally see offensive guards get grabbed by the face mask. That's not to say that they don't get grabbed by the face mask. You just don't see it very often. Here's Robinson. Aldridge was there to disrupt it, and maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe falls ahead for a gain of one, but I am very impressed with Kevin Aldridge as he was out there. Jonas Rutledge came to finish off the play.
Well, what you want from your defensive end is you want to play with leverage, and Kevin Aldridge does a nice job. He engages the offensive tackle, keeps his outside arm free, has a chance to get off and make the play. Go ahead and slows him down, gets the running back off rhythm, then in pursuit of the defense. Watch Aldridge here. He's still engaged the blocker, but he almost makes the play. The defensive pursuit comes through and fills the void and makes the tackle. Pretty good job by Aldridge.
Yeah, Luke Croy was also there to make the stop. Junior from Duncan, Oklahoma. So a timeout called by North Carolina State. Minute 7 deep in the second half. SMU leads by 3. The Phillip Rivers offense is driving. SMU leads it by 3 with the North Carolina State Wolfpack driving. Here's the flea flicker. Rivers downfield, has a man open, and dropped at the 3-yard line by Brian Peterson. Did he catch that? What did...
I think they called it that he did catch the football, Kevin, but he was right down. He was down. His knee was down when he caught the football. he was just mad that he didn't be able to continue. You see the flea flicker here as Robinson tosses it back. He's going straight down the field, right down the hash mark. The ball's underthrown. Does a great job of adjusting and a good catch, but he is down when he catches the football.
He caught it at a gain of 37 yards. So NC State trying to cash in and take the lead again. Rivers throws off the hands. Kochery was there, couldn't hold on. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball buzzing in there, but a penalty marker is down.
Been kind of a strange drive so far, Kevin. 24 yards of this.
Holding by the defense. The foul occurred against an eligible receiver. Pass crossed the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Another penalty here, but 24 yards of this drive before the long completion we saw a second ago were from penalty yards. So North Carolina State is really being able to move the football with the mistakes of SMU.
That's first and goal from the 1-yard line. Rivers for the pylon, gets there. Ray Robinson took it in, the senior from Hilton Head, South Carolina, his second touchdown of the game. But SMU just absolutely shot themselves in the foot on this drive.
Well, watch Robinson, his speed. He sees the corner, good block on the outside, and he just takes it to the house. The pursuit was there inside, but he had the speed to take it to the corner.
Austin Herbert for a 4-point lead. And it's blocked. Kevin Garrett came through with the big play, and that keeps SMU to within a field goal. That's huge.
That could be a huge play, and Kevin Garrett comes off the corner, does a nice job. Both these teams excel in kick blocks. As we take a look here at the touchdown.
NC State with an impressive drive, and they take a 3-point lead, 13-10 with 13-13 to go in the third quarter. Jonas Rutledge goes deep for SMU. Hey, that was what I know Chuck Amato wanted coming out of the locker room, without question, man. It's been said so many times, the biggest drive of a ball game is the first one coming into the second half. Now SMU gets their chance to answer. Rutledge from his goal line. Split the seam. To the 40. He's got a shot. Midfield. That's as good a run back as you will see. A 65-yard return to the 35 for SMU.
Well, Rutledge does a nice job getting in behind the wall. He picks his way through, and you're going to see number 1, Marcus Hudson come through to pop him. And he just breaks the tackle and goes through, goes around to the outside. Got enough speed and ability to get some more yardage on the inside. Excellent job by Rutledge finding his way through. I tell you, that's a good way to answer a score by the Wolfpack.
You know, you see guys break through that front wedge and then run through and run by and outrun everyone to the goal line. Rarely do you see a return that nifty, that shifty. A first down and 10 from the 35-yard line after the 65-yard return. Swing pass to Briggs. Briggs got a block. 30 to the 15. Briggs to the 5-yard line.
Well, Mike Cabin comes out here shooting. He wants to get the ball down the field. Does a nice job on the swing pass to the tailback.
Well, a player down on the field.
We may have a flag on the penalty on the play as well, Kevin. But it's at the 20-yard line. The officials are sorting it out.
But they'll bring it back against SMU. Looks like a hold.
Holding by the offense during the run, 10 yards to the spot. Repeat first down.
It'll be a first down. They mark it off from the spot of the foul.
Well, you see the swing pass here. Watch number 74 get a good cut block inside. That's James McCarthy, the guard, getting out on the screen. Then Briggs shows he's got the ability to go behind and do a good job of powering it down the sideline. They called a hold in the middle of the play, so I don't know where it occurred.
Well, they bring it back to the 30-yard line. Well, basically a 25-yard penalty as Briggs had taken it down to the 5. Kincaid, the single setback. A couple, maybe 3.
Well, Mike Kevin's got to be pleased with his Mustangs responding after the score. You get it set up with a 65-yard return by the returner from SMU. Does a nice job in there, and then we have a big play potentially, but still the net is you get a 1st and 5. Now it brings up 2nd and short.
2nd down and 3 from the 28-yard line. Line to make is the 25. SMU has been penalized for 26 yards in this period alone. Luker, he's sacked, goes back all the way to the 35-yard line, and a 3rd down and long is coming. Terrence Martin, first time we've seen him come up big.
Yeah, definitely a busted play in the backfield. It was either Kincaid or the quarterback. One of the two kind of got miscued there and turned out to be a negative play. Brings up a 3rd and 9 situation. We haven't seen too many of these, though, for SMU today, Kevin. The 3rd and long situations. They've been able to grind it out on 1st and 2nd down to bring up 3rd and shorts.
Ball at the 34-yard line. Have to get to the 25. 3rd down and 9. Clock moving early here in the 3rd period. SMU trying to answer an NC State opening drive of the half for a touchdown. Luker to throw. Pressure. He goes down. Sean Price, the backup defensive end, the junior from Haddon Heights, New Jersey, with the sack, and SMU went straight backwards after that penalty.
Well, on the left side of the screen here, you're going to see the linebacker come through, defensive end come over, do a nice job of getting around the offensive guard. The right tackle, Judson Davis, powers in for the sack. The North Carolina State defense has done a nice job on this series, Kevin, after the long return.
That's Walt. Adam Walterscheid, senior from Carlsbad, New Mexico, comes in to punt. High hanger. Fair catch at the 17-yard line. That's where NC State will get it back, leading by 3. You wonder from an SMU standpoint, do you take any confidence from that drive? Not that it was a drive. You had the run back, and then you had all kind of penalties after that. Well, every night at 10, it's the Southwest Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to the home teams throughout the Southwest. For extended regional highlights, in-depth interviews, catch the Southwest Sports Report nightly at 10 on Fox Sports Net. 13-10 NC State. 2nd possession of the 2nd half. Ray Robinson put it on the ground. And I think he got it back. You know, he fumbled twice against Indiana and got it back as well.
A little opportunistic ball popping back up to him, but that's the kind of thing that can go either way in a football game, and it goes back North Carolina State's way. A little miscue, trying to get something going on the ground. North Carolina State has not been able to run the ball very well today, Kevin.
Not at all. He had 17 yards rushing in the first half. It was tough sledding for the ground game of NC State. Straight drop for Rivers. He throws complete. Willie Wright out near a 1st down to the 29-yard line. Well, nothing fancy about that, but extremely effective.
Well, Willie Wright is a tight end. I watched him warming up today, Kevin, and I tell you, he's kind of a guy that's got a lot of ability. But for Mike Kevin and his SMU Mustangs, his red zone problems continue this season. 2 for 6. They've had 2 opportunities today that didn't convert for points at all. They moved out of the red zone and had to punt, actually, on the last series.
They had a red zone fumble that was negated by an NC State offsides penalty earlier as well. Mike Cavan, the first to say, as they're short by that much. Nope, they got the 1st down. Beg your pardon.
Well, Back talking about Wright, their tight end for Chuck Amato and his offensive group. Just a superb athlete, moved from wide receiver to the tight end position. Big enough at 6'4" and 240 pounds to block on the corner, but does a really nice job of running routes and catching a lot of passes for the Wolfpack.
Robinson trying the left side. Picks up 4 out to the 35-yard line. Clock ticking down, 8:45 and counting.
You know, this offense for North Carolina State, Kevin, is not to throw the ball down the field and make big plays. It's more of a controlled passing type of an offense, but they've got to get the running game going as well. They want to establish that so they can do their little swing passes and possession passes to get the offense rolling.
Rivers will run and not run very far. Picked up a couple. And very wise with the hook slide at the 36-yard line.
Well, not his forte to get out of the pocket. He wants to throw and deliver. Credit the defense for the Mustangs that time. Good coverage and good pressure, actually, in the pocket. He felt things collapse around him. He needed to get out of there.
The 3rd down and 4. Out near midfield, slides down at the 47-yard line. That's a quarterback that'll make things happen.
Well, when the quarterback can't find a receiver, sometimes they're too well covered. Sometimes you have to find and make your own hole. You see as they're trying to block on Aldridge, they get a little chip block by the fullback. Then watch Rivers just find a hole to his left side. Aldridge has played very well today. They know they got to chip him with the back and give those offensive linemen a little help.
A first down out to the 46. NC State leading by 3 and driving. Here comes the blitz going up top. Deep ball picked off. Ruben Moodley with the interception. A nice job by Brian Peterson, the wide receiver, as he brought down the interceptor very quickly.
Well, Moodley is playing free safety. What a defensive call this is 1-free, which means you've got one safety deep. He's the free safety. It's man coverage all the way. Moodley's just in the middle of the field, and hey, Rivers just throws it up for a prayer, hoping his receiver can run under it. Peterson does a good job of making the tackle right after the interception.
Well, SMU will try to do something with it. They get it back with 7 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. Keelan Kincaid tried to make one miss and did, but gets out near the 20-yard line. NC State, this defense, they will hit you. Brian Jamison delivering the blow there.
Well, they pursue very well. They got good speed. Chuck Amato talked about improving speed on his football team. You know, he coached with Bobby Bowden for 15 years and was the assistant head coach down there at Florida State University. And he's brought that same kind of mentality to the North Carolina State Wolfpack. He wants to put speed on the field, be a controlled offense, but he wants his defenses to be in the football game, and they're going to run sideline to sideline, Kevin.
Not happy with his defense today with those kind of numbers. 207 yards for SMU. Bottom line is they're up by 3 in the ball game, though, as Chris Briggs, the junior out of Carthage, Texas, takes it up for a gain of a couple, and then a 3rd down situation coming up.
Take a look at LeVar Fisher, the linebacker here, the All-American, does a good job of just sliding in there. He just plays things and reacts, stays low, good center of gravity. He's able to come in and make plays. Doesn't overstep. He doesn't take any wasted motion. It's a good mark of a linebacker there of patience and using his speed when necessary.
He crossed the 6-minute mark in the 3rd period. Luker got outside, but short hopped it. Looking for a marker, not going to be one.
Well, that was one athletic rush that time by Sean Price, number 56 from North Carolina State. Going to try to get cut block here on the outside, but he does a nice job of jumping over. But Luker, he just evasive enough to get around the pressure just didn't get a completion on the pass.
NC State should get great field position out of this. Remember, they blocked 2 punts last time they played against Indiana State. This is going to back SMU up 5 more. You'll remember, and a lot of Texas football fans in the state of Texas and Texas football fans will remember in 1999, NC State blocked 5 punts in Austin against the University of Texas.
5 yards, it's still 4th down.
Well, there's 3 ways to win a football game: offense, defense, and special teams. North Carolina State has done that over the years, and they've been doing it pretty well for the last couple of years now with Chuck Amato and his bunch.
Don't expect them to come after this one, though. They're going to get good field position. Here they come. Short kick and out of bounds as Brian Peterson fields it at the 48-yard line. Break in the action, 5:37 to play. NC State in great field position, leading it by 3. 5 minutes, 37 seconds to play in the third. NC State with great field position and leading it 13-10. They're lucky they didn't lose the football there. As a matter of fact, I think it did go on the ground. And NC State's going to get it back.
Good penetration by Jerry and James, the linebacker, coming on a run blitz. Get into the backfield of North Carolina State and create some havoc. It's exactly what he did right there at the handoff spot, at the mesh spot, and the ball went on the ground.
Lost 2. Second down and 12 coming up. Here in the third quarter in Dallas. Gerald J. Ford Stadium. NC State leading at 13-10. Rivers wants to go deep. Throws it. Caught! And down after the tip at the 18-yard line. Devontae Edwards reeled it in after the tip drill. And what a big play for the Wolfpack.
Well, it's the bootleg pass. Most teams run this. You want to get your tight end out in the flat, but they cover the big tight end right. Peterson comes across the field, and you take a look here. Rivers throws it up, trying to get it to Peterson, but he knocks it back. Tommy Dorsey knocks it back, actually, and Devontae Edwards, the young freshman, comes across an opportunity knocks, and he makes the play.
Gain of 31 yards. And the Wolfpack in great shape at the 18-yard line. Boy, here comes the rush. And Rivers goes down at the 27. Chris Post, the senior from Snyder, Texas, the first man that got there. That play didn't stand a chance from the beginning.
Inside push, good job that time by the tackles inside for the Mustangs. You're going to see here, the pocket's going to collapse on a little inside twist move, and nobody picks up Post, and he does his job, gets the quarterback to the ground.
Corey Riley had him low, Chris Post had him high. Loss of 6, second down and 16. There was 4 on the play clock whenever they broke the huddle. So the Wolfpack will call a timeout with 4:08 to play in the third quarter. NC State leading at 13-10. Phillip Rivers, he has been impressive in this ballgame. A slow start, but able to pick up the pace. Looking to get his team even more back on top by 10.
You know, kind of unfortunate, Kevin, the SMU defense really playing very, very well and recovering very well on the play that Devontae Edwards picks up the pass. The coverage was very good in the secondary. You take a look at what's going on today in the WAC conference. Fresno, it continues to roll. Now their 4th win of the season as they beat the Hurricane in Tulsa with a pretty good score there and a good margin. Hawaii kind of surprising. They haven't played well early so far. Now Nevada haven't had a lot of wins out there, and that group is doing pretty well.
And Hawaii just struggles mightily on the road. It is such a tough grind for them to come to the mainland.
Yeah, they haven't played quite a while either, and it's even harder to travel when you come that far.
Boise State leading it as they go to work on that blue field up in Boise, Idaho. NC State leading it here. Chuck Amato's ball club 13-10 with 4:08 to go in the third. Facing a second down and 16 from the 24-yard line. Watch Ray Jackson, Ray Robinson, the running backs. Robinson in motion. Throws it complete. A quick hitch to Brian Peterson. He goes ahead for a couple, but not a whole lot there as Kevin Garrett came up from his corner spot and made the play.
Well, quick hits, that's kind of the mark of this offense. And you want your receivers to go ahead and try to break away from the tackle. The SMU Mustangs have done a good job of tackling tonight.
Gain of 4. So 3rd down and 12 from the 20-yard line. Phillip Rivers, straight drop, throws this one complete. Down at the 15-yard line and down to the 11 goes Willie Wright, but he's still going to be well short of a first down. Ruben Moodley got him and just wouldn't let him go, so a 4th down is coming.
Well, Ruben had to ride him a little bit. Ruben's only 185 pounds, covering him from his defensive back spot. Got the big tight end in front of him. He's about 245 or 50 pounds, and Moodley's doing all he can to get him down. Yeah, he gets a takedown. He's got to wrap him up, though, at the end of that and get a pretty good score.
Austin Herbert will come in, the sophomore from the Raleigh suburb of Cary, North Carolina, from 28 yards out. And he is good. So NC State extends its lead as they lead it now by 6 with 2:42 to go. The 29-yard field goal, and so far here in the second half, it's been all Wolfpack.
Well, the points have gone the Wolfpack's way, Kevin, but really they haven't moved the ball that much on the ground. And they've taken opportunity now with penalties that SMU has created on their first drive, moving the ball down the field. They got 24 or 25 yards in penalties, and then they got a score there. But now they took the big pass play that was a tip play. It was a good defensive play by the Mustangs, but it turned out to be a big play by the Wolfpack.
Well, it's a new show everyone's been talking about, the best sports show period, featuring a comedian who's a die-hard sports fan and a bunch of ex-jocks who really know the game with sports comedy, commentary, and constantly updated scores and highlights. What more could you want from a show? Introducing the best sports show period, premiering Monday at 11:30, only on Fox Sports Net. Well, a 6-play drive, only had to go 36 yards. In essence, like you said a minute ago, that long interception was pretty much like a punt. SMU ended up sending it right back, and NC State comes away with 3 points. They absolutely love that man right now in his second season at NC State. Fans of Raleigh, you know, it is a basketball school, but right now you get a lot of people very, very interested in football. Rutledge back deep. And he won't even think about bringing this one back. So SMU will come out to the 20-yard line.
Well, you talk about Chuck Amato and the North Carolina State bunch. Kevin, I've had the pleasure of doing a few games at Carter Finley Stadium, and it's a pretty good atmosphere. Those fans come out and they support that team, and just an interesting job of coaching for this last year, getting to a bowl game in his first year at North Carolina State, setting a lot of precedents there, and you know, just a mark of excellence. You know, last year their theme was to finish. You know, their theme wanted to go into the 2000 season and finish. They've done that all year. Last year they won 4 ball games, Kevin, out of 6 games that they were losing in the fourth quarter. It's an amazing mark to be able to do that.
They are sold out for the season in Raleigh. They got a new facility coming and a beautiful new stadium that will open in 2003. This one caught by Cunningham. He's wrestled out of bounds after a gain of 6 yards. Brian Williams there to knock him out. 2.5 to go. Clock stopped as Cunningham goes out of bounds.
Well, Mike Cavan's got to be pleased with his bunch today.
Absolutely.
I think that they played very, very solid so far in the first half. And here in the third quarter, they've had a couple things really haven't gone their way, but they played solid.
It's kind of been a tale of 2 halves because penalties were a killer for NC State in the first half, and have kind of been a killer here for SMU in the second. Elon Kincaid out near the 30-yard line.
Well, there's no doubt that Marty Galbraith, the offense coordinator, from the offense coordinator here at SMU,
Larry Keck.
Yeah, Larry Keck, he's best friends with Marty Galbraith. Kind of strange off the field, but he's done a good job of calling plays, and they've done real well between the tackles. Their offensive line has done a tremendous job, I think. Defensively, the Wolfpack, I think they're a little bit caught off surprise that they were as powerful and as big as they are and running the ball as effectively as they've been able to.
They got about 4 times as many yards on the ground, does SMU, as NC State, 109 on the ground. They've held NC State to just 27 yards rushing, but not a whole lot. That's not going to help your average much there. Did he get enough for the first down on a 3rd down and short?
Yeah, the line judge is across the 30-yard line, giving him the spot. It's a tough 10.5 yards they had on 3 plays.
They move the sticks, 1st down and 10. Call it the 31-yard line. They've had plenty to cheer about tonight in Dallas. We count down to 90 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. A country getting back to doing what they do. That includes college football. We've had a good one here at Gerald J. Ford Stadium, the campus of SMU. Briggs out to the 45-yard line, gain of 16 yards. Julius Patterson staved a touchdown.
They've run this counter play to perfection tonight, Kevin. It's got a little bit of a wrinkle every different time they've gotten it, and it's the backs. The backs have found the holes, and Briggs does a nice job. You see the guard and tackle pull from the backside. He gets stoned one up in the backfield, but Briggs just turns it up in the hole, does a nice job of taking on the defensive back. Excellent job by the Mustangs of playing power football.
What a luxury for Mike Cavan to have Kincaid and Briggs, 2 guys this good, to be able to hit as a 1-2 punch. And here goes Briggs for 8 more yards.
I asked Mike Cavan about his football team. You know, he's been here in his 5th year now, and you'd think that they're going to build a stronger program. And he said every year it seems like we feel like we've gotten a better program. We're better in all positions. We're better in all facets of the game. He said it's just the points on the board and the stats don't support that. But we know we're a better football team, and they sure are executing this evening.
Well, 2nd down and 2 as we're counting down to a half a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Kincaid, the single setback. Here goes Kincaid trying to get to the corner. A nice move and down to the 34-yard line. But Terrence Holt is not an easy man to fake out. And Keelan Kincaid put a nice move on him.
Well, take a look at your middle linebacker here, Fisher. He's going from the middle of the field, but watch him track to the sideline. Good angle of pursuit. He knows he's going to have to get out there because of the speed of Kincaid, but he makes the play on the sideline with a little help from Holt. Put the football out there, and Mr. Fisher's going to find it.
Kincaid dances ahead to the 30-yard line. Gain of 7 yards. You know, LeVar Fisher, he played some middle linebacker, and they moved him to that weak side. I think it kind of made me think a lot of a guy you know a lot about, Lawrence Taylor, and we're going to talk about that, but they really wanted him to be able to do a whole lot more things and be, well, even more difficult to prepare for him. Right now, we are through 3 periods of play, 16-10, NC State leading it. Plenty to cheer about in this one as NC State leads it by 6. Again, nothing doing on there, but you're going to see them run that reverse here pretty soon because they have been faking it on their last 3 or 4 running plays.
Kevin, actually, every time today they have someone in motion, they come behind Luker. He hands off inside, and they fake to him. So what that does is it holds somebody on the backside of the defense has to be responsible for him, and there's always a wrinkle or 2 off of it. And we haven't seen anything special tonight other than the handoffs inside.
Well, 3rd down and 6. They lose 2 on the play. Ball back to the 32-yard line. Keelan Kincaid, beg your pardon, it's Jason Pipkins getting some playing time in the backfield. Luker has time, steps up, throws for the end zone. Touchdown! Chris Cunningham, what a job of getting to the football.
Chris Chris Cunningham is their #1 receiver, but Luker does a nice job here. This is thread the needle football, Kevin. Got 2 defenders back there, gets it just over them, and Cunningham comes down with his touchdown catch. Excellent job. They call him the Comet. Chris Cunningham, nice catch on the play.
Kellen Luker has grown up in this ball game. Well, the sophomore who made a lot of mistakes has come up big, and now the huge point after, and it is good. Can't take any of them for granted, and SMU with a 17-16 lead. Just 50 seconds deep in the fourth quarter. Take one more look at it. You couldn't throw this pass any better. Back with more in a moment. Impressive drive by SMU, and they lead NC State 17-16, just underway in the fourth quarter. But what started off as a very slow ball game, looked like a couple of teams that hadn't played in a couple of weeks. Took them a while to get their feet underneath them, but since then we've had a good football game.
This has been a good game, and North Carolina State came out and played well, but Mike Cavan's bunch has been responded every time, and I think he's got to be pleased with that effort. Don't count out the Wolfpack, though. I tell you, when they get the ball on offense, they can do a lot of things. They've got some explosive talent on the offensive side of the ball.
Short kick at the 9-yard line. This is Golden. Good coverage back to the 19-yard line, and that is it. For a return of just 10 yards.
Well, you talk about Kellen Luker growing up in this football game, and he takes some mighty steps here, Kevin. Hey, he needs to step up in the pocket, create a little room for himself. A wobbly pass, but it's right on the money for Cunningham, who gets behind the defense and hauls it in for the score. Hey, that's a big play for the Mustangs. They go ahead in this football game.
Lead it 17-16. They had plenty to celebrate about. Now to see if the defense can come up big, or if NC State can answer. Robinson, big hole. Out to the 30-yard line, but a late penalty marker comes in, and this is going to be holding on NC State. I think they got the center, Derek Green, the junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
He might have had a hold of post, the defensive tackle. Looked like a pretty good hold. Looked like the best hold that North Carolina State has gotten up front as far as running the football.
Holding by the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Jack Childress, our referee. They back it up to the 10-yard line. Robinson, same play. Not quite the same result, but out to the 18-yard line. Riley got to him. Also, Corey Riley right there, and he's come up big in this ball game. Take a look at the game summary so far. SMU getting it done on the ground. Luker, 139 yards passing, and Rivers has been impressive, but his team is down right now. This one caught. Peterson trying to break away. Can't do it. Maybe a gain of a couple. Shane O'Neal, outstanding job once his man caught the football of not letting him get away. Brian Peterson, an elusive player, but not that time. Randy McElvoy, just check in with you.
Comeback route, he had to change, and Luker followed him, and what a beautiful pass it was.
That is a matter, Gary, of wide receiver and quarterback being on the same page, right?
Well, maybe they both grew up a little bit on that play.
They throw this one out in the flat. Ray Robinson has it and knocked out of bounds after picking up the first down, knocked out by Kevin Garrett. Robinson is a real weapon. Probably, well, he's one of the better, if not the best, running back catching the football in the country. He's outstanding. Led all running backs a year ago with 41 catches.
Does a nice job. At Phillip Rivers there, came off his third read to bring it down to Robinson. Goes progression 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the field, brings it outside, and his tailback. Nice catch and a nice completion in the first down for the Wolfpack.
41 receptions, was third in the nation, but everybody will tell you he's about as good as anybody as catching it out of the backfield. Here's Cottray Jackson, his first carry of the game, and Cottray gets it out to the 37-yard line on second down coming up. So second down and 5. You see things kind of slow early on, and halftime it was 10-7 SMU on top of NC State. With a score in the third, and then SMU comes right back to lead at 17-16. Gain of 4, second down and 6. Rivers, little comeback. Hicks makes the catch. Room to run out near midfield out to the 47-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play. Shane O'Neal with the tackle, but a first down for the Wolfpack.
Ruben Moodley, the free safety, decided to come down and try to make a big tackle on the outside. Little screen play, and Rivers delivers on timing, and Moodley just does a flyby out there, and net gain is a first down for the Wolfpack.
That's not good in football, is it?
Flybys are not too good. You want to make a little contact when you bring that jetliner there, and just go ahead and fly right into the receiver.
Robinson trying to get outside. Wow, he was nailed, but spins off and gets out to the 41-yard line. Kevin Garrett pushed him out of bounds, and I'm not exactly sure. Was it Shane O'Neal that delivered the blow? Wow.
Yeah, but you can't block tackle and get the guys to the ground. Take a look and see what the play goes like.
Yeah, you got to wrap up. Give all the credit to Robinson, who spun off that big hit. Four wide. They go inside. Robinson's big running room out near another first down to the 31-yard line. Shane O'Neal made the stop, but not before a gain of 10 yards.
Well, they wanted to put some pressure on them. They come with the run blitz. They send Valoria, the middle linebacker, to the strong side, and they just run the draw play to the tailback to the weak side. Good job that time by Robinson. It's his choice when he gets the ball back in the backfield of where to run, and he just finds the open area.
Just short of the first down. He's telling him to watch out for the big ball.
Exactly. You know, second and short is a great time to go for a big home run play. It doesn't hurt the offense to try to go to the house.
Here's a reverse. Jericho Cottray. Inside the 25, they lose the ball. It's NC State football. Well, you saw the beanbags come out. He was clearly that he was not down, but NC State gets back on it. That's a big break for the Wolfpack.
Well, when you put the ball on the ground, you know you don't want to self-destruct here. The Wolfpack doesn't. Got a reverse play, and he's going to get good yardage, definitely get the first down, an easy 1 foot. Cottray's going to get hit from the inside, and then the tackle by O'Neal. Then he's popped from the backside. Who was at 44? Didn't see the
Couldn't exactly see the number who came through. I think you're right. It was Justin Williams, the linebacker.
Yeah, Williams is playing in there as well. He came through and popped it from the backside.
Cottray Jackson. We haven't seen much of him, but he gets down inside the 15-yard line. Well, NC State right now is pulling off chunks of about 10 yards a pop. Brent Briggs is down on the play for SMU.
Well, the execution is now for North Carolina State. They're doing a good job. The linebacker can't get there. You see the blocks. People just getting piled on. They're overpowering the SMU defense right now, Kevin.
Officials timeout as they attend to Brent Briggs, junior out of the Colony, Texas, here in the Dallas area.
Well, he's going to be on the ground already here. He's going down on the ground, and then watch the lineman number 54 come through and just throw a knee into his midsection.
He threw a knee and a needless block.
Well, to his credit, I think he was just falling down. He wasn't, you know, maliciously trying to hit the player on the ground.
Mike Cabot coming out to check on his player. Cash Birdwell, the longtime athletic trainer.
And look at him talking to his defense, too. He's going across the field. He's going to fire those guys up as he walks across.
Now, does that count as a trip to the mound? No.
Well, if he goes again, he's got to pull somebody, right?
That's right. It'll be enough for a first down.
Well, the good news is Brent Briggs has run off now.
He jogged up. I think he lost the wind there. Let's see. Can't believe you would defend an offensive lineman.
He was falling. Well, Brent Briggs might look him up here later.
So it's a first down and 10 from the 13-yard line here in the fourth quarter. NC State looking for the go-ahead score. Devontae Edwards in the flat, has blockers in front, and forget about it again. Tell you what, Shane O'Neal has come out big for this SMU defense.
He does. He does a nice job that time. You got the wide receiver screen set up. You've got blocker on one defender inside, blocker on one defender outside, as they call an illegal block here on the offense. But Shane O'Neal comes up right in the middle and meets the receiver right in the middle of the play here. You'll see the blockers come out here on the play, and everyone's going to get hat on hat. But watch O'Neal just kind of snipe right in there and do a good job of wrapping up and making a good tackle.
2 blockers and 3 defenders. And the math didn't go for NC State. Stepped right through.
That's a good picture tackle right there. Coaches will tell you, go ahead, don't go off a diving board. Take that extra step and make that tackle. And Shane O'Neal does a nice job and makes a good clean tackle.
15-yard previous spot. Repeat first down.
Well, they repeat first down after that chop block, but a big penalty takes it back to a first down and 25 as the ball moves all the way back out to the 28-yard line. They've got to get it down to the 3-yard line for a first. This is the throwback screen, nicely set up. Robinson at the 10, inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Ray Robinson, another catch. He had 5 in the first game of the season for this ball club and comes up big again. Tommy Dorsey saved the touchdown.
Well, it's the throwback screen to the tailback here. They fake to him inside. He slips out the backside. Watch the quarterback go away, and you see the tailback Robinson get behind the big guys. Good job that time on North Carolina State at executing. Hey, if Robinson just wait through his blocks, he might take it a few more yards.
There were only a few more yards left for him to run before the end zone. Gets it down to the 9. Still, they can make a first down at the 3. Second down and 6 for the Wolfpack. Rivers throws this one in a flat boy. The blow delivered by Jonas Rutledge as he got right there as the ball came to Coach Ray Jackson. And Coach Ray and Jonas Rutledge talking it over right now.
Well, Rutledge shows that he's not just a returner. Remember, he had a big return earlier in the ball game, but comes up and makes a pop. Pad on pad right there by the cornerback, coming up and making a nice hit.
Third down and 3 from the 6-yard line. Rivers from the gun. Plenty of time. Throws. Almost picked up by Jonas Rutledge.
Jonas Rutledge steps in and makes a nice play. Phillip Rivers, though, I tell you, he is a very capable quarterback. He looks to the right, looks to the left. Watch the quick release that he has. Kind of a wobbly pass, a little behind the receiver. Rutledge has the ball. Oh, I tell you, he's going to be mad at himself when he sees the film on that one. But it was a good break on the football, good play, good coverage. He takes it away to the outside and breaks from the inside. Good job that time by the defense.
25-yard attempt is good, and North Carolina State goes back on top. 19-17 the score with 7:21 to go. So a game that started slow has picked up considerably. We've got a good one in Dallas.
Austin Herbert with a 25-yard field goal, his second field goal of the evening, and NC State back on top of SMU 19-17. I think pretty much what we expected, Gary. It was going to take a while for these teams to get their feet underneath them, and once they did, it's been a good football game.
Well, North Carolina State on that drive, Kevin, showed that they like to spread the ball around. They got the running game going a little bit. Push it down the field. They're able to move down the field, run the football, and then the passing of the quarterback Rivers does a nice job of delivering it. And they just basically moved it down the field very easily.
Rivers outstanding on that drive. He's been very good in this entire ball game. Now back deep, Jonas Rutledge, the man that came up the cornerback with the big play earlier. It had a 65-yard return earlier in this ball game from 5 yards deep in the end zone. He'll bring it out. Trying to get outside, back to the 15-yard line, got to the 20 and the 22-yard line. So what looked like a questionable decision at first has turned out to be a pretty good one, but a penalty marker is down.
Mike Gavin's got to wonder what happened here. Jonas Rutledge brings it out from 5 yards deep in the end zone.
If I'm Jonas, I'm staying away from that man right there.
During the return, illegal block in the back, 10 yards to the end of the run, first down.
So it moves it back to the 11-yard line. No fault of Jonas Rutledge. But at the same time, there are no illegal blocks on touchbacks.
Well, so many times young players want to make big plays in a football game, and Jonas Rutledge is no different than those. He wants to get out there. He's already made one good kick return, and hey, he's got the confidence to go out there and do it again, and that's something that he's really going to need.
There's 7:06 to go in the ball game. 19-17, North Carolina State leads it. Briggs right up the middle, and this time the white jerseys are there to meet him.
North Carolina State's defense is stiffening Kevin, doing a good job inside now. They're going to try to hold this SMU bunch down here and give them, they can go the long field. The ball on the 11-yard line, 89 yards to pay dirt. It's not going to be an easy task against this North Carolina defense.
Throw this one complete to Cunningham. Cunningham out to the 15-yard line. Big third down coming up here for SMU. That may go down as a rush.
It really does. It's basically a swing pass, a wide receiver screen. Cunningham on the outside. He's going to have his big offensive lineman come out there and block for him. Pretty much a controlled pass, and not a lot of different than what North Carolina State likes to run.
So out to the 16-yard line he goes. Third down and 5 coming. See the time remaining in the ball game. NC State by 2. Luker straight drop to throw. Didn't get there. Knocked down short, about a yard shy as LeVar Fisher came up with the linebacker, the weak side linebacker. He was right there, and Kellen Luker did not get to the marker.
Well, when Luker decides to break out of the pocket to go, he's got clear sailing, and he thinks he's going to get it. But Fisher, who's in coverage here, he just reacts back and going to break up the field and make a tackle on the quarterback. Good job of closing and stopping short of the first down.
Well, Mike Gavin's going to take a timeout and talk about this because the players, obviously, they always do. They were saying, let's go for it, as he's going to be about a yard short, little less than a yard. So a big fourth down decision coming up when we return. The decision has been made, and it looks like SMU is going to go for it on fourth down and about 2 feet from their own 20-yard line. The game in the balance. They run it to Cunningham. Has it and more. What a gutsy call as he gets out to the 32-yard line.
But Kevin, we talked about it earlier in the ball game. They've been running that lead play inside, but they've got that little fake behind, and finally they decide to hand it to Cunningham. Great play call, but a gutsy call. Mike Gavin, I tell you, if you don't get this on fourth down, the game is going to be basically over. The fake inside to Briggs, and Cunningham comes around. Even fakes out our cameraman. They do a nice job of that.
I tell you, it's a good job, good execution here by the offense. Hey, you set it up all night long running it inside. Go ahead and take what they'll give you on the 4th and short.
Well, saved it for when they needed it and got the first down. Luker throws this one, picked off, and out of bounds immediately. Brian Williams looked like the intended receiver. Now still, before you head for the exits, there's 5 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in this ball game.
Well, Luker's throwing the ball to the outside. His receiver's going to fall down on the play. You see him there on the ground. Good job, though, of continuing the football and making the interception. Take a look here as Luker's throwing. You're going to see the receiver fall down. He's breaking out right there, but he's going to try to get to the sideline. And I don't know if he would have been able to make the catch at all. I don't know who's he trying to throw to, 83?
Yeah, I think it was Trey Griffin, the intended receiver.
The freshman out there. He just falls down.
So NC State will get it back with 5:13 to play at a 2-point lead. See the turnover situation right up the middle. Robinson, senior out of Hilton Head, South Carolina, former ACC Rookie of the Year a few years ago.
On smartly, too, running the ball on the ground. Chuck Amato decides to put the ball in the hands of their running back. They ran the ball effectively the last time they were out there on offense. Let's go ahead and chew up some time on the clock. Go ahead and get some yardage on the ground. They're wearing this SMU defense out a little bit, Kevin, as they did last drive, and they're going to want to try to get together a couple of first downs here to put this game away.
Here comes a blitz. Valoria right there with a whole lot of other blue jerseys. Vic Valoria came right through along with D.D. Johnson, a junior out of Terrell, Texas. You see Chris Post as well.
Well, 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. Good job that time by the defense. You're going to see him here come in from all sides and go ahead and just converge on the tailback. Rivers wants to get out of the way. He says, hey, that's a whole lot of traffic up there. I don't need to be there. Big third down here for SMU. If they stop here, they've still got plenty of time. They should get the ball back. It'll be a long field because they're probably going to try to punt it short or out of bounds if they do have to punt the football.
Rivers with 4 wide receivers, 3 to his right, 1 to his left. Steps up, throws, open man, picked off. Oh, and dropped. Wow. Leroy Price, the sophomore out of Sugar Land, Texas, almost came up with a huge play.
Well, a good play here. Watch him break from his free safety spot and go up and almost pull it down. He's got 2 hands on it, just can't pull it in at the last second. Excellent job there. Otherwise, the receiver's going to make a big play and go score. Free safety playing center field out there, does a nice break on the football.
So here's Austin Herbert to punt. See where they mark it. They'll mark it at the 13-yard line. So a good job by Herbert getting it out of bounds inside the 20.
Well, we still got 3 minutes and 39 seconds on the clock, and Mike Cavan's going to put his Mustang offense out there. Hey, I think they're going to stay to the same game plan they've been using. Go ahead and run the ball effectively, a little counter play. Don't make your quarterback win this football game for you. Everybody's got to come to the dance and get this done.
Kalon Kincaid is a single setback. Kellen Luker with 3:39 on the clock to work with. Luker, a lot of pursuit. Touchdown, North Carolina State. George Anderson fell on it in the end zone. Well, let's see what they say.
Recovered by North Carolina State. Corey Smith recovered.
We have a backward pass recovered by the defense in the end zone. Is a touchdown.
A rear lateral pass. He threw the ball backwards. It becomes a lateral, Kevin, which is what they call the ball is a live play. You throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. It's much like a pitch or anything.
The ball is a live play, and it's an accurate call by the referee.
Jack Childress, the referee, right on top of it. In fact, the ball may have hit it.
Well, you're going to see Luker here. He's going to have a lot of traffic. It's the boot pass. But I tell you, everybody comes in on him here, and he goes back, he retreats, and he throws it down, and it bounces off. I don't know who it was.
The referee.
Might have been the official. He is part of the playing surface. So North Carolina State comes up with a big play in the score.
And George Henderson fell on it. Touchdown, North Carolina State. This a big extra point. It's a chance to make it a 2-score game.
Well, Kevin, I hate to continue
Delay
to
game, offense, 5 yards, and still try.
beat up the problem here for SMU, but this is now the 5th score by a defense against them this year. That's been a problem for them all year, but the quarterback is trying to make a play. He's trying to throw the ball away. Never does he think he's going to hit the official with it.
Austin Herbert is good. That was a bit testy there because that is big. Makes it a 9-point ball game, of course, meaning that it's going to be 2 possessions now for SMU.
Well, we'll take a look at Luker here. He's going to go back. He's going to come back for the boot pass here, but he's going to get cut off and come back to his right side. Then he's going to try to throw the ball outside and get away, release it. But right back here, it bounces off. It is the official right there. The official was the one who was in the area, came up to the Wolfpack in the end zone, and it was a touchdown.
Give Jack Childress credit because he immediately put the left hand out, saying that it was a lateral. It was the fumble. He knew it from as soon as it happened and made the call immediately and definitively. So SMU is going to have to score twice now as it's 3 minutes and 32 seconds to play.
Well, for Mike Cavern, that's a tough blow.
It is.
Your team is playing very, very well today, and late in the ball game, things just kind of snowballed them. But credit North Carolina State, their offense started to click, offensively moving the football. They controlled the clock here in the third quarter. To see what the Mustangs have coming up.
See that Hawaii game here on Fox Sports Net, and at San Jose State, UTEP at home, at Nevada, Fresno State. Circle that one, going to Tulsa, Rice, and they will make up that North Carolina game on December 1st at Chapel Hill. And if you haven't heard, North Carolina shocking the college football world today as they get their first win of the season, and they do it in style, knocking off Florida State 41-9.
Well, here in Texas beat North Carolina. Oklahoma beat North Carolina. That looks pretty good on their resumes when they go to the polls.
Out to the 31-yard line where SMU will have to go to work from there, and we've got a little extracurricular. Penalty markers came down. See, they just offset this. Corey Riley was the first man that really kind of got into the Tulsa. But Jack Childress was having an easy night up until about 2 minutes ago. Just say Mike Cavern not happy with that.
There's a dead ball personal foul against the blue, a dead ball personal foul against the white. The foul's offset, first down.
And he's lucky they offset. Read the lips of Mike Cavern, and to paraphrase, he basically told Corey Riley that wasn't very smart. But from the 30-yard line, Luker straight drop to throw off the hands of the intended receiver, Jason Pipkins. Senior out of Dallas Carter couldn't hold on. A second down and 10 coming up. Clock stops with 3:18.
Well, here late in the ball game, Kevin, ahead now 26-17. North Carolina State is. I'll tell you, head coach Chuck Amato told Randy McAvoy at halftime, hey, they're whipping our fannies. It's SMU across the board, offensively, defensively. They've turned it around here in the second half to their credit, and they've played very, very well. And I think he must have had something to do with that going into halftime. They've responded here in the second half. They've made the plays. They've executed when necessary.
Came out with that big drive to start the third quarter. kind of carried that momentum over. Cunningham makes the catch. He's down inbounds. Is he? Nope, they're going to mark him out of bounds. So they'll stop the clock. LeVar Fisher was there to stop Cunningham.
Well, still trying to scrap and try to get another score here. Got time on the clock. If you can move the ball down the field, put it in the end zone, whether it's either a field goal, you're going to have to come back and score again. Obviously, the onside kick would be part of your game plan.
That's a tough timeout to take since the clock is stopped, and you had 9 on the game clock.
No, at 9 or 10 seconds, you walk up there as a quarterback, you got to get the play off.
You can see the looks on the faces of the coaching staff. 3:09 left, and the clock had stopped. And I thought it was a fortunate call that they said that Cunningham went out of bounds, because I think that would have been a 50-50 where he could have been marked down inbounds and they'd have had to wind the clock.
Well, something wasn't right when he came to the line of scrimmage. They're trying to sort things out. Yeah, they're changing wristbands. A lot of teams do that. When they change the wristbands, they have one that's for their normal offense and one for their 2-minute offense. He probably went to the line of scrimmage. He didn't have his 2-minute wristband on, and it was different. And he realized it and said, hey, this isn't going to work. Everybody else is on a different page than I am.
Yeah, to take that a step further, though, in that situation, you really couldn't waste a play because you're facing a 3rd down and 3. Albeit you're in 4-down territory, but you need 2 to pick up that 3, not just 1. Luka throws this one complete. John Hampton made the catch. Brian Jamison had the coverage, and the ball out to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, they stopped the clock on the movement of the chains, and the offense will get set. Luker's walking up the line of scrimmage and calling the plays, looking at his wristband, run their 2-minute offense.
Here comes the blitz. They get rid of it, but still nothing there. Pipkins made the catch. But boy, Terrence Chapman looked like he was on the offensive side.
Yeah, a little quick screen there, and Chapman just kind of worked the outside from his defensive lineman spot. Does a nice job of picking up the back.
See the time remaining in the ball game. North Carolina State trailed this one 10-7 at halftime. Come up big here in the second half. They lead SMU by 9. Luker had time, penalty marker down, and catch is made. It's enough for the first down to Billy Ford, but let's check the marker. It was in that pocket where holding is the call 9 times out of 10.
And it is going to be holding against the Mustangs. Negates a pretty good throw and a pretty good catch and a good route. Getting in, working in between the middle of the defense. The defense is pretty much playing a zone defense concept, 2-deep zone, and trying to keep everybody short in front of them.
Maybe shows you why the protection was so good.
By the offense, 10 yards, previous spot. Repeat the down.
Penalties for both of these teams have been tough. SMU, particularly here in the second half. NC State has got to cut down on the mistakes in the second 30 minutes of this game. Here comes the blitz, and Luker goes down. It was George Anderson who came from that defensive end spot, who made the young man out of LaPorte, Texas, down in the Houston area. So this is about as close to home as he's going to get to play. And Mom and Dad will like that one. Option play. Briggs out to the 40-yard line, but still a long way to go on a 4th down with 90 seconds on a moving clock. Fourth down, 17. Line to make is the Wolfpack 45-yard line. Throws it up high and almost intercepted, but it doesn't matter at this point. Jay Taylor was the intended receiver, but North Carolina State will take over on downs and fall on the football a couple of times. And
SMU is 67 seconds away from falling to 0-3, while North Carolina State will move to 2-0.
Well, both coaching staffs coming into this football game didn't know how their players were going to respond after the tragedy in our country and being off for 14 and 16 days for both of these teams. A lot of question marks, and I think we saw in the first half that North Carolina State didn't play as well as they were capable of. SMU played a very good first half, and conversely in the second half, it kind of turned around. The momentum has been with North Carolina State, Kevin, for the entire second half. As much as SMU fought back, it just seemed to not go their way late in the game.
Fair to say that both of these teams can walk away with something. SMU on one side, you know, they did the job, albeit not for 60 minutes of football. They did do a good job, especially matching up physical-wise with this North Carolina State team.
There's no doubt about it. Mike Cavan's going to be very pleased with his offensive line, his defensive line. How those interior people played very strong and very physical up front. They won that part of the game most of the contest. And also his quarterback. I think his quarterback played solid tonight. You know, it wasn't spectacular, but he got the job done, and that's something they needed. They need that quarterback to perform. Conversely, Phillip Rivers for the Wolfpack, hey, he just played his consistent, smart game. It doesn't look like he's doing anything special. He doesn't look like a unique thrower of the football, but he delivers it on timing and just keeps racking up the yardage.
I think Chuck Amato's ball club can take away from this is that they need to come to play every night, because it didn't look like they really came to play in the first half.
Well, it looked like that SMU had the more intensity coming out. They fought harder, they executed well, and NC State couldn't get things going early in the ball game. These two coaches, I think, have a good admiration for each other. And Chuck Amato's just a guy, when I talked to him on the phone, I liked talking to him. He was a fun guy to talk to. And Mike Cavan, I really think that he's got this program headed in the right direction. Some good things here for the SMU Mustangs as well.
NC State wins it. They go to 2-0, while SMU falls to 0-3. Final score, the Wolfpack of North Carolina State 26, SMU 17.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Chuck Amato Show. The Pack hits the Big D and comes away with a tough W. We have Wolfpack highlights. 34 years ago, the White Shoe Gang came up big in Texas as well. Handy Andy. Gary Hahn profiles tight end Andy Vanderveer. And it will be a rockin' in Carter-Finley Stadium Saturday. State opens its ACC season against arch rival UNC. We'll be back with the coach in a couple of minutes. The Wolfpack won 8 games last year, 6 of them in the fourth quarter. Well, make it number 7 because the game in Dallas, NC State came up with a fourth quarter rally to turn back a stubborn, well-prepared SMU team 26-17. It wasn't pretty, Coach, but you take those kind of games.
Without a doubt. It's the object is to win. And the way football is being played these days, you never know. I mean, you just never know. But you have to give a lot of credit to SMU and the way their coaches prepared them for this football game. They came out and they played hard. They executed. They kept our defense on the field 20 minutes in the first half. Our offense did not make a first down until 9 minutes left to go in the second period. We were almost 21 minutes without a first down. And it's hard to win a game when you're doing that. But they just the kids just stuck in there and they kept fighting and they didn't give up and they played hard. We went in and made a few adjustments at halftime, and we came back out and we scored some points, which we needed to do. And we had a great effort by everybody, really.
You want to expand on those adjustments?
I don't know.
Did you leave the paint on the wall?
Not. It's not what you say. These young men knew it was at stake, and it's going to be a crazy year. That ugly win will take it, and you can call it whatever you want to. But Earl Edwards once told me, "You never apologize for a victory," and I'm not going to apologize for this. Florida State would have liked to apologize for a victory, and Clemson would have liked to apologize for a victory, and you get them any way you can and get out of Dodge.
If there was an upside in the performance other than the victory, Coach, the kicking game that was provided by Austin Herbert.
Austin did an outstanding job. He averaged, I think, 44 yards in his punting with 5 punts, and he kicked a 24 and a 28-yard field goal and hit him right down the middle. But we still, our kickoff coverage broke down again on an occasion. We did a good job of covering our punts, but we still have some leakage in our extra point field goal team. as far as blocking is concerned, but Herbert gets the ball off in a hurry.
How did they have so much success running the ball early?
Well, I'm not so sure that our players weren't more, and we preached for the last week and a half since we've really been preparing for SMU about them wanting to run the football. That's their style, is to run the ball. They get in a one-back set and spread you out, but they do want to run the football. But in their first 2 games, they had been behind. They got behind because of offensive turnovers that turned into touchdowns. And they had to go to a passing game. And I think it took a while for our players to understand that and not necessarily understand it, but get into the mode of it. And we had our opportunities in the first half. We had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles and an interception that were nullified by penalties. And penalties it's a little bit of coaching, I guess, and that I'll take the blame for it, but it's undisciplined. When you're offsides and it's against the rules. You're not supposed to do those things.
Plain and simple.
It's that simple. But those are 3 big turnovers that could have, put 2 or 3 scores on the board. But they didn't happen, and all those ifs, ands, and buts don't mean anything. The biggest thing that meant something was the way we won it in the 4th quarter, and it's good to win a close game.
Okay, Coach. Well, it's only the 3rd meeting between these 2 schools, and NC State is trying to make it 2 in a row over the Mustangs.
Here's one of the few highlights in the first half. We win the coin toss. Other than that, we didn't do much in the first half. And after trading punts, Austin Herbert kicks one 48 yards. He had a great day of punting the football, and we hold a good return man to a 7-yard return. A very good tackle by Cotry. And now on 3rd and 1, they make a first down here, but he gets hit pretty good. We thought we had him stopped. Now we cause a fumble here, and Johnny on the spot, Holt, recovers it, puts us in good field position, and we don't get anything out of it. They come back and run a reverse here, and an outstanding tackle by LeVar Fisher. He hits him and knocks him back and does a good job there. And then on 4th down and 3, they went for it, and here's LeVar Fisher with a sack and gives us good field position. The first time they get a chance, they kick a field goal, but we block it. Again, here's Holt with another block. That's his 6th of his career. And now here comes Holt with an interception. We had three turnovers in the first half that were nullified by penalties. Here Holt got called for interference, and we had 2 fumble recoveries that we got called for offsides. Now here they are down in scoring position, and we knocked the ball down. LeVar again, and now the first points of the game, they kick a field goal that puts them up 3-0. And we come back and we have a good driver. Here's a swing pass to Ray Robinson. He does a lot of good running, fine running. He runs through people. He's a very strong runner. Phillip hits number 80, who doesn't drop very many passes, and for 13 yards in the first down. And then we come right back, and here's Phillip getting out of the pocket, and he hits Cotry downfield for a first down, 19-yard gain. Now we're on the goal line, and Ray just makes his own hole, and he scores our first touchdown, which makes the score 7-3. And we come back, and here's Pollard with a tackle on a 2nd and 6 for a loss. We put some pressure on them, but not enough, and they throw a touchdown pass in the corner, which puts them up 10-7 at the end of the first half.
And for the first time this season, the Wolfpack trails at the half. Now let's hook up with tight ends coach Curt Cignetti to introduce the Sprint Spotlight.
Thanks, Don. This week's Sprint Spotlight is Andy Vanderveer, a 5th-year senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Andy's in the pre-med program, and not only is he an outstanding student, but he's an outstanding football player.
Andy Vanderveer was sailing along as NC State's starting tight end in 1999. That season, he caught 12 passes, including 4 for touchdowns. But very few, if any, football careers avoid adversity. Vanderveer met it head-on last season when a new coaching staff with a new offense told him his role would be changing.
They told me that I might not be starting anymore, and it was kind of like, well, I just want to have a good team, I want to go to a good bowl, have fun over Christmas, and, if I'm not out there playing every play, then I'm going to do what I can. And when the ball comes my way, I'm just going to catch it and run with it.
Vanderveer's always done a good job catching the ball, especially near the goal line. In fact, 1/3 of his career receptions have been for touchdowns. But last season, Vanderveer had only 2 regular season catches. One went for a touchdown at Maryland. And he caught a TD pass against Minnesota for the Wolfpack's first score in the MicronPC.com Bowl. Andy Vanderveer's ability to handle adversity comes from values he learned at home growing up, an attitude that puts team goals ahead of personal goals. Another man has also had a big impact on Vanderveer. That's head coach Chuck Amato, who never buckles under adversity.
He's always going to fight to win. He's going to find a way, whatever it is. And that's kind of rubbed off on me and a lot of my teammates too.
Vanderveer is still playing behind Willie Wright at tight end with additional competition from Joe Gray. But as a senior, he's taking on a different role.
Definitely a leadership one. I've been here 4 years, and it's, you gotta lead by example. Talking about it really isn't going to get it done, but you got to go out there every day and work hard, try to get better. And when the time comes to step up and make plays, you got to make them.
This is Vanderveer's last season in a Wolfpack uniform, and he'll do whatever it takes to make NC State a winner. When he leaves the program, he'll have the satisfaction of knowing that he was part of a resurgence that changed the landscape of Wolfpack football.
Without a doubt. It's, before when I came, it was kind of like guys weren't proud to wear their stuff on campus, their football shirts and still, hats or something. Now it's like a real big deal to even have a shirt that says NC State football on it. Just that says a lot about it.
There's an old saying that football is a lot like life. When you get knocked back, you can either get up and retreat or charge ahead. Andy Vanderveer's kept going full speed ahead. For the Chuck Amato Show, I'm Gary Hahn.
Andy Vanderveer had 4 touchdown catches in 1999, and that was the most by a tight end for the Wolfpack in 30 years. Now let's head back out to Gerald H. Ford Stadium and the second half between the Pack and the Ponies.
The first drive of the second half, we wanted to go down here and score, and a little razzle-dazzle here. We're throwing the ball back to Phillip, and he throws one downfield to Brian Peterson, catches it on the 3-yard line, and on the next play, Ray, again, the workhorse down here on the goal line, and he beats them all to the corner for a score, which puts us up 13 to 10. Now here's a real good play here by Terrence Martin, and now we're chasing the quarterback down again, and it's Sean Price's first sack of the year, and there's 2 junior college players that have helped us out thus far, and they're getting better and better, and they've got to improve more. Now we run a little bootleg with Phillip, and he throws the ball downfield, and it's tipped by their man, actually, and Devontae Edwards has his first reception of the year, and Herbert kicks another field goal here, and Austin was actually born in Texas, and he was named after the city of Austin. He had a lot of people there at the game, and I was glad to see that. He put some pressure on their quarterback. He throws one down. We have a great catch, a great throw on their part in between 2 defenders, and puts them back up in the fourth quarter. And now we have a 1st and 25, and Ray gets a little flare pass and gets knocked out of bounds. And here's Coach Ray Jackson on a little play that we put in just this week and got some good yards, and now a screen that Ray here picks up about 19 yards, brings it down inside to the red zone, and Austin kicks another field goal, which puts us up now 19 to 17, which is really enough to win the game. Now a big play here at the end there. Brian Williams intercepts a pass and stops them from moving the football, and then this is the play of the game when Corey Smith sacks the quarterback, and they called for lateraling it backwards, and George Anderson, who's from Texas, recovers it for a score, and here comes George again with a quarterback sack. And again, you got to tip your hat to SMU. Their players played hard. Their coaches did a good job of preparing them for this game.
Now it's time for our Dodge Drive of the Game, a series of snaps that put the Wolfpack in the driver's seat to win the football game.
With Ray Robinson, the lone setback. Here's the snap. Rivers looking, pops it on the right side of Robinson. Robinson to the 30-yard line out of bounds. Pack threatening here with 9:54 to go. First down from the SMU 23. Here's Rivers to Coach Ray Jackson over the right down in Arlington for the Pack. Here's Rivers out of the shotgun. Faking a throw left, now throws back right. Ray Robinson's got a 25, 20, 15, down to the 10-yard field goal from the left hash. Ball is down, the kick is on its way. Looks good from here, and it is.
That drive covered 75 yards in 13 plays and gave the Wolfpack the lead for good in the fourth quarter at 19-17. Now let's have another look. Third quarter, 2nd and 12.
SMU 29. Peterson now in motion to the left. 3 wide receivers there. Here's Rivers, play action faking, rolls the pocket right, fires downfield on the right side. It is tipped high in the air and caught by Devontae Edwards.
Whenever you're traveling to the Triangle, stay with other Wolfpack fans at the Marriott. Your special Wolfpack rate is available at any of the 11 Triangle Marriott locations, including the Residence Inn at the airport, Cary and Crabtree, the Courtyard by Marriott at the airport, Cary and in North Raleigh, Fairfield Inns at the airport in Crabtree, Spring Hill Suites in Durham, and the Marriott Crabtree Valley and the Marriott RTP. Call 1-800-228-9290 and ask for your Go Wolfpack rate. Marriott is the official hotel headquarters for the Wolfpack.
The Chuck Amato Show is presented by Pepsi. The taste born in North Carolina is the official soft drink of the Wolfpack. Infinity, accelerating the future. Optometric Eye Care Center, the official eye care provider of the Wolfpack. And by Marriott. In the Triangle, stay with the Pack. Marriott properties are the choice hotels of the Wolfpack.
Welcome back into the Chuck Amato Show. Some 34 years ago, a young linebacker named Chuck Amato convinced his defensive teammates to paint their shoes white, imitating the footwear of a couple of NFL players, Joe Willie Namath and Billy White Shoes Johnson. The routine became famous.
The night before the 1967 season opener against UNC, and the only doubleheader in Carter Finley Stadium history, a young linebacker named Chuck Amato convinced his defensive teammates to paint their football shoes white. Thus was born the White Shoe Gang, and to this day remains a great part of Wolfpack football lore. And while it may have been a fashion statement, the White Shoes defense allowed just 94 points in 11 games. The ritual became famous 3 weeks later when the Pack faced the number 2 ranked Houston Cougars and their All-American running back Warren McVay in the Astrodome. Since it was State's first game on artificial turf, the team had to borrow soccer shoes to wear in the game. And there was some debate over whether they should paint the borrowed shoes. During a recent gathering at Amedio's, many fans came out to watch highlights of the Pack's upset victory. Among those gathering, offensive tackle and co-captain Steve Warren, now serving as president of the board of directors of the Wolfpack Club. Number 42, All-American defensive back Freddie Combs, now a Raleigh businessman. And of course, number 33, Chuck Amato, now in his second season as head coach at his alma mater. Coach set the record straight as to whether head coach Earl Edwards was aware of the white shoes.
He had no idea it happened. The night before we did, like I say, we all took our shoes out. Took 2 sets and went to Manmur and bought a bottle of white shoe polish and put it on my practice shoes. Because if it wasn't gonna look good, we were gonna can it. But it looked good, and so I went back and bought a dozen bottles of shoe polish.
The Cougars get one more chance, but this is thwarted by All-America Freddie Combs, who slices in front of Ken Hebert and shows his white heels to the Cougars on a 38-yard run.
Freddie's interception doomed the Cougars as the Pack punched in another score to clinch the victory.
On second down, Bobby Hall comes to the left on a reverse, spins loose from 2 men, and scores, much to the dismay of the Houston band, but to the pure joy of his teammates. Hall's run gives the Wolfpack an upset 16-6 victory.
Hey, Freddie, did the white shoes make you fleet as the wind?
Absolutely, it did me. And you know, just putting white shoes on, and nobody did it back then, but just to have white shoes on, you were faster. I mean, in your mind, you are faster because it just feels like you're just so light on your feet.
It was a great night in Houston, and a reminder of another great night in Albuquerque when the Pack knocked off another nationally ranked team from Houston.
I'd like to invite you to join me next May for the vacation of a lifetime. We'll be traveling to Rome, Sicily, and southern Italy to visit some of the world's most beautiful and fascinating sites. For a brochure with complete information, please call Sports Travel International at 888-785-7767. That's 888-785-7767. Come with me to southern Italy. We'll have a wonderful time. Mwah!
The Chuck Amato Show is brought to you by House Autry Mills, the choice of Southern cooks since 1812. The Fish House and Oyster Bar. And Italian Chop House, a combination of steaks, chops, and seafood specialties. Nabisco, America's first choice in goodness and snacking. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota's national clearance is going on now. See your local dealer today. And by Sprint.
Well, it's the conference opener for the Wolfpack this week, the 91st meeting between UNC and NC State in one of the South's greatest rivalries. And if the game wasn't big enough already, it sure did take a different look after Saturday, Coach.
Well, without a doubt, when anybody beats a team like Florida State, this is only the third time they've been beaten in a conference since they've entered it, and to beat them the way they did, it was not one of those things that there was a direct snap and it could have been called a touchdown or not against Virginia when Florida State lost, and but I've not seen the film, but down there in Dallas we didn't get a chance to see the game, but I've said all along, the University of North Carolina's got a great defense. When you have a great defensive football team, you got a chance to win any game you're in. And turnovers had been a nemesis for them early in the kicking game, and obviously they straightened that all out in this past week and just did an outstanding job of beating I don't care how young they are or how many people they have injured, of beating a good football team.
All right, have a good week of practice, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, that's our show for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on the Chuck Amato Show.
Your appearance tells people who you are, where you are in life, and most importantly, where you're going. Hunter & Lord's has more than 700 of the world's finest fabrics and extraordinary service brought directly to you. Your custom tailor for Raleigh, Greensboro, and Charlotte is Kenny Doyle. Call Kenny at 919-601-7102. Hunter & Lord's and Kenny Doyle, a standard of excellence.